World Champions 2024. It belongs to the mighty Mongols.
Machine engaging descent to the lineup, transfers it back, and it's a 2v5. The OG bomb plant looks to get secured, and Simio sent towards it.
Swalio who's sticking on that defuse. Not enough money, which could still be a factor here. Oh, we're going to run boost into the middle. That's a really exciting spin. He's going to force the kill at the last second. Right through the smoke. Look at him go.
Around the corner to the lineup.
They also have kits. He's sneaking into the window while they're trying to get through the hallway to fire accident.
You're watching the Thunderpick World Championship day number 2, and we've had to say goodbye to one of our teams already. OG exiting the competition. Furia guaranteeing themselves a spot in playoffs. So much excitement, and we're already halfway through the day. My name is Sam. I'm going to be keeping you company moving into the evening. Joining me on the desk, Alan and Travis, to share some insight into the teams you're about to see. What a day. What a day it has been. I'm a Fallen fan, so I'm happy about Furia, but I'm a little bit shocked by the OG loss we just saw, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a brutal series from start to finish. I'm sure whatever team was going to lose that was going to be highly disappointed. The fashion that went towards at the end, both teams, a few too many mistakes, unfortunately for OG. One too many put them over the edge. And yeah, early exit, commiserations to them.
But how impressive was Furia, Trav?
Yeah,
Winning there, that for me was a good start to the morning.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in the hotel room, watched it on the TV. I love what I'm seeing from them. They were my favourites for the tournament beforehand, and they're proving it right now. They come back on Mirage. I think that's put them right in the hunt, that's for sure.
So we've done a quick recap of what you've potentially missed if you've just joined us. But now I get to tell you what's coming up. And of course, I would say that this is the game of the day, an absolute banger about to take place. Navı up against Aurora, one of these teams going through and demanding their spot in playoffs straight away. And what a matchup it's going to be, because we got to see these two teams recently, and it didn't look good for Aurora, Ellen.
I actually don't feel that way. I watched the series back earlier. I think Aurora played a pretty good game. They lost all 4 pistols, highly competitive. Xantares looked fabulous individually. They look like a good team to me. So I wouldn't be surprised today if the scoreline is reversed.
We're obviously talking about that matchup at ESL Pro League. That was when they last played. Navı able to win 2-0 in this particular battle. I know that Alan, like he said, he thinks that Aurora might be able to change it up a little bit. I mean, how about you, Trav? How do you feel about these two teams and what you had a chance to see there?
I think it's going to be interesting mainly to see how the veto pans out when we get to it, because I think the main thing that Navı have over Aurora at the moment is the map pool. I mean, we've touched on it previously. Aurora's map pool is a little bit all over the place right now. They're trying to get Train into the action. They're getting better on Train. But with the loss of Vertigo and then with the loss of Anubis from the pool, that has really put them on the back foot in many vetoes against the top teams in the world. And in the last 2 matchups, Navı have proved that to be the case.
They're two teams that are actually in very similar positions, though, when you take a look at them. They're both teams that had a lot of expectations put on them, that were starting to bring in results that got us excited, and now they've seemed to fumble. And obviously the conversation is constantly like, do they need to make a change? Why isn't this working? And they're kind of in exactly the same position moving into the major and here at Thunderpick.
Yeah, I guess potentially for Navı, of course, international team, they're going to have more player options. I would say, though, for Aurora, I don't think many people are asking for roster moves. I feel like when you watch this team make mistakes or maybe lose some games, it's very hard to look at them and say, this is a lineup problem. And you look at it and you say, who watches them and say, this team isn't skilled enough? When you've got Jota, Xantares, those guys going into bomb sites, they're going to win so many rounds. Arcadia is such a skilled young player that I feel like for them, and having watched that series that they did play against Navı, very small mistakes, late round situations, small errors, playing a map like Nuke, for example, where there's so many rotations, it's really awkward to make moves. A few too many mistakes against a team of Navi's caliber cost them that series. So today, we're going to have a very keen eye to see if they're going to play a tighter brand of Counter-Strike, because when we get into this sort of caliber of game, it's not, when we're watching lower level teams, to win yesterday, Aurora just needed to not make too many mistakes. Today, they need to get a lot of things right to beat a team of Navi's caliber.
Yeah, I think there's limitations for both, but I do think that Aurora's limitation has been probably most criticized publicly recently has been the calling, not the firepower. And with Navi's limitation is that they don't necessarily have a star player, but they do have the calling. So sometimes it can look different in different games, but I think that's the main storylines between the two of them.
Okay, fair point. So let's talk about Aurora now. If you were to, for you specifically, Alan, coming from a coaching background, if you were to take a look at Aurora, what would you fix, if you like? What was the thing that you would put into practice to make this team play at the level that we all expect?
I never coached at this level, Sam, so it's certainly,
No pressure.
It's certainly a tough one. For them, the most important thing is to come off the games they're playing, watch them back, and make changes, because some of the mistakes they're making are ones that you would never pick up in scrims. You'd never pick up in practice, because you're just going through the motions, you're running your set rounds. You have to be put into awkward places by elite level teams, and then learn, how do we rotate here? How do we communicate properly? And they certainly have spoken in the past about they get a bit flustered in different situations, so maybe there's an angle there for, talking outside of the game and making sure people stay calm, or sports psychologists, this sort of thing, but nothing for them is going to replace hard time watching back games, talking together, and making changes, because for any team, that is where you learn the most.
Okay, and Trav, I mean, from what you've said, you think that they need to work on their calling.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the main thing, because a lot of them, Alan's mentioning about how they need to go back and rewatch things to learn what they did wrong. I do feel like quite a lot of the issues that you see from Aurora are same old with them. I don't think that these things are necessarily being fixed when you see them in these sort of against these high-tier opponents, when they're looking to try and win a trophy finally, when they're looking to try and push deeper in these tournaments. I'm not sure it feels like it's just Groundhog Day when you look at the mistakes they're making. So I'm a bit disappointed with that, which is why I want to see improvement, especially in a game against Navı today, where they've lost their last two games against them.
Is the win condition then the calling? Because in that case, Navi's got this in the bag.
You would think so. But I do think that on a good day, I think Aurora's rifling core does clear Navi's rifling core. So that's the main thing. They have the star players that can take over a game. Whether they will be on form enough to be able to do that remains to be seen. But yeah, I think Navı, they're going to find it difficult today. I think this might be the game where Aurora kind of have a little bit of a hit back.
Can I dumb this down and simplify it for HLTV forum users like me? It's going to, and I suppose the question has to be, what do you want? Do you want the firepower, or do you want the good calling? What wins games?
Preferably both.
Okay, but you can't have both. You can only have
both.
one. What would you prefer? I mean, if you had to choose between the two, what is the one that you want?
I'd prefer to be in Aurora's position going into this series. I think they have a handy advantage individually. Again, having watched them play the game they played against Navı, they were firing off on a lot of those rounds. They were doing damage. They were ripping open bomb sites, and irrespective of how well you call, that's going to cause tremendous problems. Harkening back to some of the points you made on Major, Trav, I do think it is worth highlighting that it's a bit of a misnomer to say all calling is done by an in-game leader. A huge proportion of a team's decision-making comes from good comms. A huge proportion comes from essentially feeding in all information into a vat and then synthesizing it and making good decisions. So if we do watch sometimes Aurora play and they're making bizarre moves or bizarre mid-round decisions, it's not a given that it's major. It's quite possible that some of these more inexperienced players, like Ricadia, for example, just don't know how to act and how to communicate in those situations.
Do you think it ever gets really annoying if you're a Navı player to constantly hear this? Well, they don't have any star players. They don't have any superstars. They are a roster that went on a winning streak that was pretty damn impressive. They're a roster that, yes, maybe they're not getting the results and we're not seeing them in finals, but they are still going head-to-head with the best in the world, Trav.
That was the hallmark of them, though, when they had their period in 2024, right? Like, it was never always one guy. Imma had an MVP, JL's had multiple, Wonderful had one or two, right? Like, it was always a collective effort, and occasionally one guy going a little bit above and beyond to push them over that hump to win a final. Of course, look at the final they played back at one of the previous EPLs, the one that maybe got away from the Aurora core, which was then Eternal Fire, of course. That's the one that got away when they could have won a big Tier 1 trophy to get these players what they think they deserve. And Navı had those X-Factor players in the big moments, but overall it's always been a collective. And that's one of the things that if one of the Aurora players, or maybe a couple, are a little bit below par in that rifling core that we said is so good, that could make the difference.
So I obviously asked Alan what he would prefer, to be in Aurora's position with the firepower or in Navi's position with the brain power. Based on the results, Trav, the brain power is winning overall. When these two teams have matched up, brain power has beaten brawn.
It has. I do think, though, actually, in this particular matchup, because there's 2 losses that have happened in the last 2 in a row, that can be a difference maker, because you'll really put in the hard graft to find out, okay, we've lost 2 in a row against these guys now. We've got really close in the past. We haven't won since Blast Lisbon against them. That's quite a long time now. We're going to be really digging to find the answer and get it sorted as quickly as possible, especially in a tournament like this, where we are one of the favorites. We in our own minds think we should be running deep. And yeah, I think in general, the firepower conversation, I think as well, when you have someone like Xantares on the server, it sometimes doesn't even have to be him. It can be Wakadia, it can be Jota. They pick up the slack when necessary. So I think, yeah, today, they're going to have to be firing on all cylinders, but sometimes I think when you've had those poor results previously, you've looked back at it, sometimes it's harder for the team that's won those previous 2 to innovate than it is to fix your own problems.
Okay, this is a pregame for a Navi desk, so I do have to feed the wonderful haters, as one does. So if you take a look at these 2 AWPers, head-to-head, who wins it in the end?
They're both flawed in different ways. They're both excellent in different ways. They're both extremely different players. Woxic, hyper-aggressive, always has been very proactive, very eager to take fights, wants to play off his spawns, wants to make moves. Certainly in his past, on teams like Mouse, could work excellently, could be to his detriment. For the team he's on at the moment, they need a player like that, so it works out. For Wonderful, more passive, more reserved, more fundamentally sound, in my opinion, for this team. Obviously, he gets some flack from some people for not being, you know, a huge superstar or taking over games. But certainly, it's very rare that Wonderful is going to get caught in positions where he's going to lose them a game, where he's going to give up opening kills. Woxic might do that. I don't think he's quite as bad as he has been in the past in that regard, but certainly these are very different AWPers with very different traits.
Which one would you choose?
It very much depends on the team and what everyone else brings to bear. For a team like Aurora, as much as Wakadia and Xantares can be playmakers, they like using him as a loose cannon. For Na'Vi, you could make a pretty strong argument they do need a bigger playmaker, and maybe that's why there are eyes on Wonderful. So, yeah, certainly in that regard, maybe Na'Vi does lack another forceful element to take over the early part of rounds.
We've been here before, yesterday, in fact, Trav, when we were saying, is it Wonderful, or do we need a better rifler on the Na'Vi lineup? So for you, I mean, what is the choice?
You've already changed one rifler, bringing Makaze, who showed amazing stuff in Navi Junior. I don't think the rifling core is the issue. But as Alan kind of mentioned, I don't think anything's really the issue. I think they just need to find a way to get it all to work as a collective again. And that's the issue.
That's a very politically correct answer, Trav.
No, but it also goes back to what I was saying a minute ago about this level of competition. It's what you get in the territory, but you need to start doing stuff right. You need to start making aggressive moves. You need to start putting other teams under pressure. It's not necessarily good enough when we're talking about top 10 to just be a good player, to just be dependable. And that maybe is where Na'Vi lacks a little bit. I will say, when we talk about Na'Vi and maybe lacking a superstar player, Bit in his positions is absolutely elite level. World-class anchor, world-class lurker on the T side, but obviously contrasted against someone like Xantares, who is a superstar player in superstar positions. Xantares can take over a game in a way Bit just can't because of his spots.
So we've had a little bit of fun here, and we're kind of guessing and jumping around, and I'm making you make weird decisions. But what this really comes down to, I would say, after seeing these teams match up at EPL, is the veto and how this is going to play out. Trav?
Yeah, I think the one thing that I kind of expected to see actually in this one was Train. They have played it before. It's actually the map that Aurora got a little bit closest to beating them on in the last 2 matchups they played. But we all know the bans. They're going to be obvious. Overpass and Ancient do get out of there straight away. Neither of these two teams are playing that and haven't played it for a very long time. And yeah, the wheelhouse maps, you're expecting to see maybe a Mirage. Maybe you're expecting to see a nuke in this veto. We know what they've played before. But I think we need to see a change-up from Aurora if they're going to find a difference maker against Na'Vi in this one. We do see Na'Vi go for a nuke. That's somewhat of a punish pick between these two, because this nuke currently for Aurora used to be great for them. Xantares used to dominate outside, but recent results have not been too hot. One of the maps is actually looking a bit poorer in their pool. So seeing Aurora go for a Mirage, that does make sense going off of recent matchups. It's one that they got a little bit closer on again, but so close but yet so far on it, so they need to make a change up on that today. That's where that rifling core can maybe bully Na'Vi.
If I was Aurora, I would have picked Dust 2 again. I think they played a good Dust 2 when they played them last time around. I think their Dust 2 is sound. I think it suits their players. And obviously the other option maybe would have been Train. So to reach into a Mirage, it's definitely left field. I'd be willing to wager that Na'Vi did not expect Mirage. They probably would have prepped to some degree all 5 possible maps, but that for me would have been the least likely of the options.
Okay, it's on your screen now. We know what the veto is. Overall thoughts about this series now and the maps that we're going to see them play on? That's not a good sign when you both side.
This will be really tough, I think, for Aurora with the way this is panned out. If they get to Dust 2, I will favor them to win this series. For sure, having watched them play it a few times now. But Mirage is the linchpin. Mirage is the left field pick here. It's a map where they have been a little bit inconsistent, as has Na'Vi. That's why they picked into this. But certainly Aurora needs to play more fundamentally sound CS on a map like Mirage. It's got a lot of rotations, a lot of retakes. This is a map they cannot afford to have late round difficulties, or this could be a 2-0 for Na'Vi.
I actually think it's going to be a 2-0 as well. I'm going to take that one. They've purely actually just, in general, looked a little bit more like they're progressing as a team lately, Na'Vi. Like, I kind of, before the tournament, I wanted them to be the true contenders alongside Furia. I think I would have picked both of them, in my opinion. Na'Vi are making progress at the top of the scene. They're integrating Makaze slowly, but it's working. And they've outperformed Blade's current expectations. I know you have a little thought about that.
Travis, Blade's expectations. Let us expand. Let's quickly expand.
Do it.
What do you think Blade's expectations are?
Well, verbally, he said that he's content with going 2 and 3 in Pro League. Do we think that's true?
Do you believe that he told us the truth there? Do you think Blade's content with not making playoffs and not winning trophies? The man who only ever posts to his Instagram when he has a trophy in his hands? He's content with not being able to post those and flex on other teams?
I think Blade is one of the most realistic people in the entire scene, though. So I think
Blade likes to win.
I think Blade likes to win, but you can like to win and also be a realist at the same time and know that you're not going to magically fix the mistakes and the issues that the team has been having, moving on to a player that has really only played online in an academy. You're going to need time for that to build in. He's not going to be an out-and-out fragger like he was in Navy Junior. He needs to learn the ropes of being a tier 1 player. He needs to understand how to deal with the travel and the accommodation, all the things that comes into playing on a top-tier team, not just inside the server, but outside the server too. And he understands you can't just click a finger and be god tier like Donk. Not everyone's Donk.
Not everyone's Donk. Only Donk is Donk, Trav. There we
True
go.
and real.
We've spoken enough, I think, about what's going on. Yeah, I hope I've given you some food for thought. You know what, though? We're not going to talk anymore because I know that you want to hear from the teams and we want to see them in the server as well. Aurora up against Na'Vi. Let's get those players on the stage.
Thanks, Sam. It's time again for these Group B favourites to go head-to-head. A rematch from just weeks ago with the ever-glorious chance at revenge on the cards. Please, welcome to the arena, Aurora and Na'Vi! Aurora are back with their Turkish passion for the game after a clean close to the series yesterday. But can they find the result that they've been looking for over Na'Vi, who showed some cracks against Imperial? Who will be able to take the win in today's playoffs game and a chance to secure that position in the playoffs? That's what the people want to know, and that's what we're about to find out. All right, Major, I'm having a chat with you first, mate. I saw you go to Mirage instead of Dust. What's the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, the reason is I think they recently tried to escape Mirage, I think, and we wanted to play this card today. Hopefully it will be good. Yeah.
Okay, well, you won't let him off the hook. Blade, the desk wanted to know, what are the expectations for the team today?
We will try to show our best. I think we had a very good head-to-head versus them. So we'll just try to focus because I think if we play our A game, like Prime game, I think it's a very good chance for us to win them. We have this kind of experience, and obviously when you constantly play one team, they learn something, so we must also play some mind games.
Well, there you go. expectations slightly tempered. Gentlemen, shake hands. Let's get this one underway. Without further ado, Sponge Machine, casters, start the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the skill we possess.
Pressing it right now, start game.
Okay.
Hopefully it starts.
Did you like what Blade did there? Because I did.
Oh, it's nuke first, right? So mind games are plenty on there.
But, I mean, just simply him kind of saying, you know, we're going to be playing mind games right in front of the captain who's about to try and call and play. I'd get in my head about my prep a little bit straight away.
Well, same thing with Maggia, right? It's like, okay, they've been trying to avoid Mirage, so let's pick it into them. Let's see, you know, if it is really a weakness. I think it's tough for Aurora here, right? Their nuke, if you look at it last 3 months, a couple of those games are when Zentaris wasn't with them in Cologne. So we can throw those off the record, but when they played a couple of losses to Astralis, there's a loss to Navı, and their wins are against lesser teams. So today this is going to be tough if Aurora want to take it in 2.
Yeah.
But this could be looked at as a grand final preview, right? Because both these teams are the same side of the bracket, and both teams very likely to find their way making it through to the next stage. And they'll be on the opposite side,
presumably,
right? So, we also had the Mongols versus Fury a little bit earlier today, which it could be the same conversation. That one was a banger. Went the distance. Obviously not the 3 maps, but you got those extra rounds in the overtime. The players take their seat. We got Navı in the huddle.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect in as far as this head-to-head goes. All I am expecting, and as far as my expectations being set, are we should have a game here. Navı, I do expect their Mirage. It looked a bit clunky, so if we go when we get there, that will be curious. But we're going to be starting on Nuke.
It's just more of the same conversation from yesterday. You know what this can mean in the road to the major, right?
Yeah.
And, with $500,000 for first place on the line here at the Thunder Pit World Championship for 2025. That's going to do an awful lot, right? Let's say you have a poor major. A good event like this is going to really help you in the early stages for invites and whatnot in 2026. Crazy to think that's just around the corner.
Yeah, time flies. 2025, we're rounding it out now, the end of the season approaching.
And I think contrasting these two names as opposed to the other two, Fury and Mongols, who are both Stage 3 teams, these are both Stage 2 teams, if I remember rightly. So they're going to have an extra Swiss stage to get through. Neither of these names are going, yeah, we think they can take the major. But if they can make a bit of a statement and a run now, right, we've got Chengdu, we've got PGO Bucharest coming up. There's some events where they can definitely try and restore some faith behind their names. Navi's been trying to do that all year long. Aurora's been making playoffs all year long. They would love to make another one here today. I think the stat line for Pro League was it was their 14th event, and it could have been their 12th playoff. I'm going to have to double-check my notes, but ends up only being their 11th. So I think this is their 15th event of the year and a chance to make it their 12th playoff because they missed the major playoff there. This is the thing, right? Do you include Cologne when Zentaris wasn't there? I don't, right? It's not a fully strength team. Anytime you're playing with a stand-in.
Especially when it's your star that's being stood in for.
Exactly.
Yeah, no understandable context necessary. But yeah, you can see that there are those final discussions being made.
Are they redacted points, do you think, with the black line? Or are they underlined, like, okay, these are very important?
Yeah, maybe some color coding going in there, color printer. I know that the printer cartridges run dry quite quickly around it.
Sure.
But
I think I've seen one of the Chinese teams in the past actually travel with their own printer.
But that's so meta. Yeah, meta defining.
No one else has ever done that before.
Traveling with the printer, you're never going to have issues.
But Blade doesn't need a pack, a mouse, and a keyboard. He could be going with a printer, you know?
I'm sure the form factor of these modern-day printers, you know, you could get a nifty one.
Get Navı a printer sponsorship.
Yeah, now we're talking. Give him a call.
We're living outside the box right now.
But yeah, I mean, it's actually just very interesting to see the contrast. Blade kind of barking the last-minute reminders before we get into game. And his mic is muted. It looks like we're going to be getting ourselves live momentarily. Players, all 5 for both sides in the server. I think it's interesting and curious that Ricardi's rocking the jacket. I've seen some players.
He did it yesterday.
He did, and he pulled it off very well. But some players, you know, they can play with thick hoodies. He's actually going for a nice stylish jacket number.
I was admiring Makazi's mouse pad set up there, so it looks like he's gone a thicker pad with a thin boy on top, right? So that's a method that I have wielded myself once upon a time. But last glance at the notes, freeze time ticking on down, and let's get this one underway. Thunder Pit World Championship 2025, winner of this will be locked in for the playoffs. Loser will have to battle again tomorrow, and that'll be against the winner. Have a match coming up a little bit later. Venom taking on Imperial to round out day 2. Now, we just wanted to see if you were paying attention.
Oldest trick in the book, that one.
We just wanted to make sure you were paying attention.
Because, you know, they were in the other room. They're coming back. They got the Bev. They've told the boys they'll be on after this game. I'm seeing a nice smile on Bit's face. Not a guarantee.
What's happened here? It's...
Oh, he's telling Makaze to be quiet.
Yeah,
That's why.
I think... yeah, Makaze's gone bit Mike, and I don't think Bit agrees with that sentiment. Either way, here we go. Let's get underway. Dual Berettas, flashbang for Madja. That's the weapon and util that's been dropped. A couple of smokes, flashes, and a molly. Wonderful. That molly makes its way up onto the roof. Outside smoke will be dropped in. That's a waterfall smoke. That's going to make them think they're searching a P250 round that we may have seen before. Wakadia up close, ready for this.
Oh, he's managed to get away from the flashbang. Tucks on the door, but a good clear from Imek. Solid hold so far. Jota calm and composed, double kill, and now the cavalry arrives to sweep the rest under the rug. It's Alexi trying to leave.
Maybe go ramp. It's not a quick reaction either, so they're allowing the fight to come their way. There are options available, or at least there were. Madja here now.
Yeah, and he's all just there for the information. He's not playing any bravado here. Would rather just get the round locked and loaded.
Well, can they isolate a 1v2? Looks like it. Woxic, never mind. Great shot on the P2K, and now it's just Alexi B.
Has to return the favor. Alexi susceptible. Woxic does struggle to get it across the line. Now just very low HP.
Could get the bomb down.
Not to know. I like the way that P2K sounded. Picks it up off of Woxic's corpse, hoping Madja is overextended, looking for answers, and there's a clean headshot.
Okay, so when we think about yesterday's game for Aurora or Nuke versus Venom, it was that forced by war back and forth earlier,
Yes.
right? The Tech 9, the down the vent, and that was the undoing of Aurora and their CT side. Now, they ended up winning, right? But it was a 6-6 half. It wasn't as dominant as what you would hope for if you're a team who's a class above. Right now, the fact that they didn't allow the bomb to go down, it's unlikely we see the force spike come through for Na'Vi. And Aurora, they're going to be looking to wash away some of these nuke woes, because at the moment, this is an unfortunate factor both ways. This is a pick for Na'Vi that they traditionally make, and it feels like a bit of a punish as well. So this is the worst of both worlds if you're Aurora. But if you can win this one, you go, okay, maybe we restore a little bit of faith within our nuke. It's just up against a couple of digs, and the confidence for Zentara is never afraid of a fight. We'll get a nice deep nade in there, but that's going to be chasing ghosts. Imma's dig, back at EPL on train, was a force to be reckoned with. Let's see if they can light up the server here today.
Oh, he hit some crazy shots.
They just had multiple rounds unleashing the headies.
Back to back to back, it felt like. But yeah, I mean, the Deagle is going to be the mainstay, main conversation here. They just send them loose in yard, hope for a cheeky scalp. Zentaris is playing very aggressive. He's not playing scared whatsoever, and so pays a bit of a price. In the open, Imma hits the headshot.
How much more is there? Still a minute left. Another kill would be nice.
Yeah, that's all they're playing for now.
A bit of pepper at range from Woxic. Shadow being spotted from Wakadia, so well, they already knew the audible, but just waiting for that drop in. So this one slowly being whittled down, and the eco dealt with. Sketchy on the aim.
Yeah, a little bit. There we go.
Well, can they get the M4 back? That's the question. Yes, they do. So rifle scavenged, no harm, no foul, and now we will go into the buy for Na'Vi. So mind games, sure, that's one of the big conversations with tactical teams on Nuke. They do these multi-layered smoke walls. You might get the quick ones alongside a red, and then they do the diagonal after, or vice versa, to keep you guessing. Is Makazi down secret? Is there multiple bodies? Are they playing through it into main splits? Are they outside at all? And that's going to be Aurora's question throughout this CT side, and they could address that with aggression, or they could try and play the chessboard. Standard opener. Possibility of the vent drop available. Now the smoke wall outside. It's going to be diagonal first up. So not playing on the first timings, Na'Vi. Will this utility be burnt through as they blow open smokes? Makazi uses the wall, make sure nobody is up close and personal under silo. Wakadia the man to rotate down, and there you go, second wall. Now, still have a HE to try and blow this open. Mollied off, Wakadia stalled out. Makazi not making the probe either.
Lining up something for top.
And will it just be the one, right? This is for backside. Might be joined to get somebody for top hut as well. The A defensive Madja backside still with an incendiary in hand, and a player up on Mustang. Zentara is now piping up the ladder. They have a good idea of where this hit's coming.
Now it just comes down to execution.
Oh, missed the volley.
Yeah, Makaze goes down. Nice angle from Woxic. Just blows his toes off. Jota chips in. Aggression on the ramp, catching Imet. Down events, that's a death sentence for Alexi B. Wakadia, lie in wait. And so just wonderful. Nothing for him here.
A very good read of the situation, right? They had multiple bodies in top. They had a good idea that it wasn't going to be an outside play to lower. Wakadia got that information quite early. Makazi didn't go down, put any pressure. That's one of the problems, right? If you don't actually play across secret and they investigate that early, in that scenario, yeah, the info really means nothing for Na'Vi, or what they thought was the lack thereof. So we'll just have to be another line upgrade again, probably more of the same.
Clean start to your CT side, that's what you want if you're Aurora. You'll start filling up those coffers with cash.
And the opposite for Na'Vi. 3 rounds played, only 4 kills, no bomb going down just yet. Next rifle round is where you really need to start seeing some friction.
And again, Zentara's on those low buys.
He's blocking this, is he?
Is playing to disrupt one way or another. Yep, caught. Makaze down and no one else behind. Heavy damage actually with the no Kev on Imet. HE leaves a mark. Now just staying active back sight. Doesn't want to be peeking into a deagle just like that.
Still do have these nades on Alexi, so if there is an overstep from Aurora, maybe they could piece something together. Could just get a smoke into main with a couple of flashes and see if you catch a good timing. Or do they want to reset completely? So they're between two minds. Still a minute on the clock, so more than enough time to work with. And they spot each other in no commitment. Really feels like everyone is happy just to show themselves and then back off. Hope that the comms start getting out of control. Well, there's that main smoke. Time now starting to become a bit of a problem. 40 seconds, need to fight.
Zentares welcomes the duel. They'll just pick them apart, picking at their bones. Alexi B perhaps with a little bit of a chance for the Tech 9. You can see him there in the pit, but goes down empty-handed. Aurora flying out of the starting blocks.
Okay, well, there's 2 residual buys for Aurora going forward, even if Na'Vi starts slathering rounds on the board, and that's not including saves. So they've done a nice job early. How long can they keep it flawless?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how much to expect.
They've actually prioritized quite a few HEs on the T side, and the reason that's curious is I wonder if it's for damage, right? We're going to see them try and do stack nades on the roof, or what's the plan? Maybe some HEs in towards main? Because, the extra flashes can help you push back a couple of angles. The nades either blowing over the smokes or looking for damage. Obviously, you always bring one in to open that squeaky door. So diagonal in play again. The ramp boost highlighted early for Jota. It's a good one-and-done position at a minimum. This time you have to get him down secret, I feel, to apply some pressure and keep the rotations honest.
Yeah, he is going to go unannounced, slinking their way secret. Bit of a spam from range, but nothing found. It's Zentares. Onto a nice opening kill. Makaze and Alexi slip secret. They are really begging Aurora to give him a slip-up. Wonderful, segregated from the 2. Zentares slips down the vents, bounces the molly off of his face, and actually maintains a lovely forward stance.
Yeah, so that's a lot of info still. 40 seconds again. It just feels like Na'Vi, they don't really have anywhere to go. You're going to have to break into top site with a split somehow. This is the bomb.
Makaze's got the bomb. Okay. Zentares overlooking the potential for Makaze's forward position. Now maybe ramp to B? They've got this set up. Jota boosted up. If he gets both, it's a disaster. They need this trade. If he does get something going, it's a free first. Immer unable to provide. Lend a hand. Double from Jota. And awkward for the remaining 2. Makaze will get the bomb planted. It's Alexi going to have to dig in forward position, try and find something in the opening. Lovely start. No response immediately. Has the angle for the swing on single. Trying to strike in unison with Makaze, but there is that Madja flank. Perfectly outlined by the Observer team. Wakadia catches Alexi, goes out, and no covering fire provided.
Consider.
He's just going to stick Makaze, hoping for an extension. Wakadia happy to oblige. What a lovely string of rounds from Aurora.
Okay, so Zentares goes down, they see the bomb, but they don't panic, right? They don't just rotate down quickly because they know that the setup right now from Na'Vi is quite split across the map. If they can avoid the other access point to get down secret, then you're going to have the final 2 players boxed in, and that's exactly how this one unfolds. That's going to be 5 from 5 opening duels in 5 rounds going for Aurora. Makaze's given away the first 3 opening deaths, so that's not a great campaign for him. That'll also have to be one of these trends that are bucked, as we do see a tactical timeout. But if we are looking on the bright side, the bomb has gone down for the first time. So with the loss bonus in play, bomb getting planted, there's enough money for yet another buy. So Blade chipping in now can try and change the game plan and look for a way in. Will it come with a bit more pep in the step, right? Will they be a bit more aggressive, trying to initiate? Because at the moment, again, it's about, okay, we're taking this space, we're forcing these rotations, we're hoping that either they're going to push into lobby, maybe they get a little bit lazy. They rotate poorly, we catch them off guard with a good timing. Now it's about getting your players activated into the game. Get them on the board with a couple of frags because it's still very, very quiet. 6 kills in the first 5 rounds.
I just don't think it's easy for Makaze to work yard with Xantaras and Woxic working in tandem.
He doesn't really have a lot of support, right? They're throwing the util to give him the space, but they're not actually setting him up for kills. They're setting him up to take real estate.
Oh, that's a nasty way for Bit to go down.
6 from 6 openers.
Yeah, opening death. Handed to them by the sniper. Lovely angle to work with, covered by Wonderful. An important clawback kill. The Kalash progressing further, just going to park Makaze on red, low HP.
And now with nameplate Counter-Strike, Bit was on silo. Wonderful was the one who got killed out, got the frag outside, and you know that Makaze's probably here as well. On the clear, almost caught by the timing. Oh, and spammed. He's lucky to be alive. Okay, so he does have the space, but they know about it. This is confirmed. Now it's about constricting ramp if they can, and well, nobody's playing for that right now.
Man just making a huge play. Going to double push Secret. Makaze is going to get a lot of info, but he will likely go down.
Ops in the right place.
Just like that, Woxic. Doesn't have to lift a finger, really. Just pull the trigger.
Oh, I seen him in vent. Jota just got loud. Okay, knows he's in the vent.
He knows. Free frag, thank you very much.
This is too easy right now.
It's falling into place.
They're reading them like a book as well, though. I said, okay, so ramp, right? Ramp should be the gap in that situation. You think, oh, maybe the AWP post there.
Right.
No, they give it up completely. They are chasing the player down Secret. They go in towards main, so they're expecting, like, Navi's thinking the same thing. Okay, Orb's still alive, right? He's likely to be playing over towards elbow. Let's not go ramp. Let's try and rotate back. Not at all right now. You're not getting past this. So Aurora looking fantastic. 6-0 start.
Just you can tell the comms are flowing nicely. There isn't any stress.
Again, I really still think it's going to have to be Chaos that needs to get thrown into the mix right now for Na'Vi. That has to come through with a pace change. You can't just do it in the sense of, oh, let's nade open door and try and go for a top pop. It needs to be, you know, okay, let's do the smoke walls, but let's play ahead for a kill, right? Let's do something that they're not going to be expecting, because at the moment they are reading us like a children's book. I spoke about, you know, 1 to 2 residual buys. Well, that's probably blown out to 3 at this point. You've got multiple players on 10K or over.
Damn.
That stat line has hardly moved in terms of the kills, up to 7
We're
in
halfway
6
through
rounds.
this attack in half. We need some evidence that Na'Vi are here to play today.
Well, they've gone for a partial behind the saves, which sucks for Wonderful and Alexi unless the bomb goes down, right? Because their money is in a rough spot. Again, he's on form. That's bid down for the third time as well.
I mean, those are just necessary headshots. That's all you can see of Bit. One of the 2 rifles goes from one hand to another, and it's cursed. Woxic another headshot. He's keeping up with the rifles as far as headshot accuracy is concerned. Wonderful and Alexi wondering where their teammates have gone.
Yeah, forget about getting that bomb down. Now it's about, can you just get a frag or 2? There you go. Wonderful. Hits his 2nd kill. That's a non-starter so far.
Oh, it feels like he's catching the timing.
This is perfect.
It couldn't. Well, it could have been better, actually. It could have been a one-tap, a little labored spray, but regardless, Wakadia has pulled it across the line, and Na'Vi find absolutely no luck into the 7th.
You're at this luxurious part of the game as well, where you're going to prioritize taking AKs into the next as opposed to the AWP. So it's not like, no, I picked up your... No, forget about it. I'll buy my own. Get yourself the AK.
Treat yourself.
And that's it. They have 4 AKs on the CT side with Woxic buying in on the AWP. But I said that they need to try and bring an element of chaos. And because of Alexi's money, maybe this is a round where he could operate with something a little bit less. Looks like he's going for the Galil, so count that away. Thought maybe a Mac 10 to be a little bit more explosive. 7-0 in the hole. Opening kill, boys. Come on.
Looks like he's throwing caution to the wind,
Vent
trying
drop.
to slip straight down the fence and does so loudly.
That's the bomb as well.
Gets down as well. Okay, that's the change-up. Makaze got stuck on the entrance of the vent. Okay, now you've got Ymir in the door's side, so you know the B site And the B plant can go down uncontested. Is Jota quick to ask questions, though? Jiggles out, will bide time for his teammates to work out the angle of approach for the retake. This is the best chance we've seen from Na'Vi so far here at the start of the series. First map, Nuke. They're gonna flood in. Bit just standing in the open, ready for those one taps, and does actually control the spray nicely. A double kill from Bit. Alexi's there. It's a triple. Job is done. Get out of there, Woxic. Maintain that lovely 5 KD you're currently rocking. And he'll be getting out scot-free.
There you go. So they had to manufacture a way in, and it's going to be event drop. So one of the most unlikely ways to get into a round, but the bomb goes down for the second time. They still give away the opening kill. For poor Bit and Makazi, between the two of them, they've both given up 4 opening deaths, right? So that's 8 rounds deep. And that's the first round that Bit probably feels like he's actually been able to play. And he finds that impact once they're in towards lower. I thought Wakadia had done enough there. He was just staying on the top side as the rest of his teammates were starting to retake from ramp, but it's really just Bit standing in the open, being able to deliver like his aim map. Great work from him. And that's the first. 4 rounds, that's more than workable. And that is still available. A second tactical timeout has been called. I really think you can't manufacture a vent drop with 3 players again. So what's the advice from Blade?
Imagine making full use of the extra 30 seconds courtesy of his rival.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, do we really think they're going to try and exploit that again? They might with one player, right? Ima's responsibility is to be that annoying door guy. So we'll see if he wants to try and flirt with it a little bit more, get the molly top heart, get him out there and look for a pick of some variety. But still, there's absolutely no way, well, there is a way. It just is highly unlikely that they're going to try that same move again. And I think that's why if you're Aurora, you don't really need to make any huge adjustments to how the game plan's been going.
Going to start the AWP power position, the back red box. Second smoke wall looked like it was pretty bang on as far as his crosshair was concerned, but doesn't quite manage the spray, and so Makazi trying to slink across. There's a smoke break, and Makazi still gets away with it. Bit not so lucky. That's the bomb as well. Very low for Bit. 3 players secret. What's your finish, Alexi?
The thing is, again, they haven't rotated anybody down towards B. Right, so they're allowing them to take this space for free, right? They're not going to have to deal with anybody double doors or decon. There's that rotation from Jota, and he knows that Secret's given up, which limits his options. He's going to have to play in the site. Does he have enough time to get across? He does. So tucks into dark. Here's the flash. We'll be communicating that. There is pressure. Doesn't mean it will have to be the finish. 40 seconds on the clock.
Ooh, Woxic's actually going to try and make a play to clear out Makaze here. Oh, slipped off just at the worst possible moment. Good find, Woxic. Compromised position, misses his shot. Alexi brings him down. It's Antares in defense. The Ima, a wonderful pair. Both go down. Makaze, though. Stubborn for Na'Vi. Head exposed. Wakadia just in time. And so uncomfortable for Makaze now. How are you supposed to overcome this? Madja.
Sticking it.
Not going to engage first. Let the single door fight come through. Okay, Makaze making a case. There's a HE though. He's in trouble. Yeah, forced wide by the flame. A nonchalant finish. Madja makes it 8.
It felt a little bit stressful there. They didn't play together, right? The single door player pushing out of his zone, and Madja wasn't in a position ready to swing then. So maybe a little bit disconnected. Maybe the call was made from somebody who's trying to do bird's eye, and both the players weren't on the same page, ready for that. So it does come down to the 1v1, but they do get across the line. I'm getting planted again. There's 5.2, 6.4, so you have 2 players in AK territory right now for Na'Vi. You've got 3 who can buy Khalils. Well, they're going to actually hedge here, so they're not shoving all in.
Okay.
They're leaving enough money so they can buy full into the next round. This one, I get it. They know they're going to be up against a full buy again. It's not like you're going to break the economy late, so the thought process is there, but you're running out of rounds. So maybe for them, 3 rounds feels more than enough on the T side. Or maybe not more than enough, but acceptable, something they can work with as long as they get in that CT side pistol.
Yeah, I mean, this cam perfectly demonstrates what Antares is about to be dealing with. The smoke. Oh, faking the
fake
steps. Oh, that is smart. Cheeky.
I don't think Bit's going to clear this.
He's going to presume one's forward up at red. for that main player just to take a little jiggle for info.
Alexi be back at spawn. Is he throwing a smoke wall? It's just waterfall for top main. Xantares knows this is clear.
They're not going to get the desired result or reaction.
Wow, kind of. Wakati is actually cheating away to help outside, but nobody's home, boys.
Xantares versus Bit. Oh, perfectly baited in, finished off.
Now you need to react, Na'Vi.
Whoops! Oh dear. Makaze slips off a silo. Xantares having a field day. Okay, AK on Lexi. They're maybe going to be able to claw this back as the head-to-heads are won. Wonderful takes down the top side, but Xantares, just this perpetual fragging
Vent
machine.
Drop. Yep. Should be able to plant here.
It's Wonderful going to go down. Yep.
Noisy. Go to late to this. He was pushing lobby.
Ooh, how on earth do you close this one out with him so low as well? Compromising position for the two remaining Ts. Plays in the vent, knows he has to stay active here. This time, oh, not enough damage. They just die in unison. Flop over for another CT round for Aurora.
Okay, so 9 is...
Who picked this?
Exactly, right? But this is the thing, the head-to-head. So the last 4 maps played between these two teams, and I understand one of those series was still with Jail in the roster, went in favor of Na'Vi. So coming into this today, Aurora, right, you're going to really be looking into what these things that fell apart were. Alan pointing out in the series they played at EPL, they lost all 4 pistols. So this time, they've got the pistols, they're winning a lot of the opening duels. I say a lot of, at one point it was all of them, and I feel like it still probably is. Yeah, they haven't given up a single opening kill.
Pretty good
We're 10 rounds deep.
Yeah.
Bit is 0-6, Makazi is 0-4. There's 2 players who are just hemorrhaging these opening deaths.
Might be Wonderful's turn. This time we
First
get
opening
2
kills, all right.
in unison. Okay, in there and Wonderful win their opening. It's Aurora now in a very difficult position, with lobby called clear by Jota though. Ah, yeah, nice find. Bit catches Wacardia on the walkout. Actually gonna hoover up that space, but he's lost every single one of his teammates now, so 5-on-1. Maybe you can do financial.
Yeah, no, add to the stat line, get a couple of kills.
Grab an orb.
Yeah, I think also you're bang on if you can make sure they don't have the orb into the next.
That would be cool.
There are a few little things that Magic can hope for here, but I think winning the round is not one of them. So a flawless round for Na'Vi. All being said, as they are just being diligent about this. Alexi letting his teammates push forward, call the coast clear, usher him in to get that bomb down. Don't want to give anything away on this one. Know that each of these rounds are going to be sacred if they want any chance of turning their fate around once we swap sides. And this is something, right, you can just tune into this match and you go, oh, well, it's over, right? But this is the thing. MR12, and we have maps that are more CT-sided than others. Nuke definitely fits into that category. Over past the other one at the tippy top of that limit. He's got the money, so see what he can find here. I don't imagine Na'Vi should be too worried about the hunt either.
Maybe just get Xantares an AK if you can.
I don't know about this, Alex. If he got up Ven, if Alexi wasn't looking, they would have been there pretty close. But let's say the smoke was on the bomb and they were whiffing through the smoke. It's probably not going to happen.
Faber's actually called the first for Aurora.
Well, he knows it's been a great half. So I think something that can happen as well is like when you feel in the flow state, some people can start to get a little bit maybe overzealous with some of the fights because everything's going your way. So right now you say, just remind the boys, this isn't done yet. There's still going to be a long way. If we lose that T-side pistol, it'll be a long way back in. And they've had some mammoth collapses, so you want to make sure that you don't allow any opportunities for that to exist. So maybe it's just that, right? I can't imagine there'll be any huge adjustments from the strategic standpoint. Might just be a reminder that, yeah, sure, 9 is good, 10 is better. Fully strapped. No dramas in the buy department, as you may expect. So both teams fully fledged for this final. Will it be 2 opening frags in unison from Imma and Wonderful yet again?
Oh, Woxic, I think he's making a strong case it might be him. If anyone in lobby dares. Oh, Xantares has been caught. Makaze does deliver in unison with Wonderful, just like that. Okay. Okay, it gets better. Smoke spam onto Arcadia, just Jota.
They started to show a little bit of attitude, and these last 2 rounds are coming easy as that, right? Before it was, okay, let's throw the smokes, they're going to respect it, let's throw the next smoke, and it's just like, you know, they're playing cookie cutter Counter-Strike, which is very good, right? I was actually having this conversation with somebody today. If you could have a team that isn't worried about, you know, oh, we need results now.
Nice shot.
You could default for a whole year, but this is the thing, right? Like, you need to be very proficient at it, sure, but you need to also have flair in your game, otherwise you can become very, very predictable. So now it's going to be 9-3.
I mean, because it is the hardest part, you know, as far as creating the foundation of a team.
Well, yeah, because defaulting is a lot about putting your players in similar situations over and over again, so when they see those scenarios unfolding in a match, they already intuitively know what the best reaction is.
Right.
Whereas calls that are more set or more aggressive is you setting the tempo. Right, so you're making some assumptions that you'd be able to get a certain amount of space. Wow, okay. And then past those assumptions, it's about whatever gets thrown to you in a split second that you're having to react to, which is why we talk about the reactions, the aim of these players. But when you hear from coaches or in-game leaders and they say, we're going to play our own game, right? When you extrapolate that and you look a little bit deeper, it's about making plays that you're confident in, right? It's about taking first timings. And I think that is something that you know, gets lost in the sauce, because when you hear it, it's like, oh, well, that's really a nothing burger. But no, it's about being the ones who are dictating the flow of the game as opposed to having it dictated to you and reacting, right? Or looking into too many tendencies and going, well, they do this, so we should do this. It's like, well, no, this works for me, right? Can they stop this first and foremost?
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's not a coincidence that we hear it from, you know, all those at the peak of competition playing their game.
It's not a throwaway statement, even though it sounds like it is.
Yeah, no,
right?
that's
There's nuance to it, but it's not like they're going to come out, we're going to play our own game, which is, Makazi, we're going to set you up to take these aggressive duels. That's our own game is doing things that we're confident in, and we can get the most out of our players. Where, you know, some teams are playing on second or third tempos. I think when you're a better team playing against a worse squad, that's why you play default, because you're like, well, whatever they throw, we should know the right reactions, as opposed to going, well, we're the better team, let's just run at them. And you can get teams who do both, and both can come back to bite you in the ass. But 9-3 at the half for our audio-only listeners out there in Radio Land. Let's get this one underway. Swap sides. Na'Vi now on the defense of their map choice. It's going to be a smoke and a molly.
It's curious that Alexi didn't spend that last 200 on a flash. Doesn't think it would be necessary.
Save him for a rainy day. There's a lot of information for Emma out the gates. Did have the oversight of Wonderful in Garage, but it is going to be a top play. Smoke main, molly top heart, and away they go.
What have you got?
Ahead of the U2.
Yeah, leaving Heaven now, a very uncomfortable duel, and Jota demonstrates why. Bit trying to poke his head out with the dual Berettas. Him are going to be coming in very late flank. Now wait for it to connect, and now he's spotted out.
No kit.
Awkward now. Woxic to lend a hand, draws players away. Nice click. Okay, better from Zantares. 2-on-3. Na'Vi have the edge
Gotta
here.
deal with
They've got to
this.
get on the bomb. Need to get that defuse. Makaze surely going to get shot on the backside here. Yeah, should be
He's
fine.
on your screen,
should
mate.
be fine. Awkward even further for Bit. No time to win the round. And the hope of Na'Vi taking their map pick starts to dwindle further from 9 to 10, and it's just the first round of play.
You got to wonder, there's a bit of panic coming out of the teammates right there as they see him defused and Mad just looking in no man's land. But hey, it's all good.
It's on your screen.
Yeah, well, another opening kill to add to the tally there for Aurora. And now at this point, the conversation about 9-3 being enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is the thing, right? When I say that, 9-3, as long as you swap sides and you win the pistol, okay, well, now you're in a situation where you're likely just forced by out the game. 3 digs, 2 MP9s, smattering of utility on top, a couple of HEs, a couple of smokes to block, and really loving the form that we are getting out of Aurora right now. Individuals back in their aim. Wonderful's got the opener. Woxic's dead outside. That's an AK available.
Not bad on the way back in. Im is MP9, a bit disruptive for one.
Hello?
What? The dig! Oh, Makaze just swings open the door and slams it shut in the face of Aurora.
They see the door swing open. It's like they didn't even acknowledge. Like it was like, there's no way someone's
Dude,
just going to push out the door.
It was quick. The door swung open and he was instantly on their screen clicking 2 heads. Let's see it again. Bang. Woof. That is lovely from Makaze. Okay, well, in absence of a pistol, you'll take that.
Yeah, and this is where they can take control of the economy. So Aurora will get the opportunity to go for the force buy right now because of the loss bonus situation.
Right.
They lose this. Na'Vi can turn 4 into 6 in the blink of an eye.
Torres is quick on this, just storming the main roof. Might have the element of surprise, but a flash would be perfect. He knows one's up there.
Oh, Incendiary didn't land.
Yeah, that's actually going to enable both of them to sneak across. So Torres at range. What a perfect headshot.
Yeah, runs into the dink right there. And Wakadia down the vent. Didn't like how that felt yesterday against Venom.
No, true. It is just going to be Bit that gets here just in time, nading off the doors as they run through. The timing quite nice for some damage, but kept humble. Bomb plant seems likely. Rotation vents is going to be off limits. They confirm that. And in there, wow.
I'll take the gun. Thank you very much.
Down.
I wonder if they watched back the VOD last night of the Venom game and went, well, we like that. We didn't like how that force buy felt. Let's run it ourselves.
Yeah, true.
Looked very similar to the type of round, right? They had the player come in late to slink down the vents behind. It had the smoke wall insta to get the players across. And back and forth we go as Na'Vi are just going to have to hold on to this AK and the MP9 in Alexi's hands. MP9 turns into an A1S, so at least 2 rifles carried through. Wonderful will be able to drop across a rifle. Alexi will be able to do the same. So there is a chance to get out 4 rifles into the next round. Bit's going to be just shy. That's the kill though, right? So Makazi's scrambling for info outside, oversteps the mark a little bit wide. Zentara is waiting for exactly that. I think that was an audacious duel going both ways, like trying to fight down the vent is just as crazy. And that'll be the last tactical timeout called by Na'Vi now. So Bit's been given the good fortunes of the M4. They might just give Alexi an SMG to play with over towards the top side. He'll be able to drop that and even get himself some extra util. So still a very strong buy right now for Na'Vi, but running out of rounds, running out of opportunities, and this one is running away from them quickly. Mirage up next. Madja alluding to feeling like a bit of a punish potentially. Saying that Na'Vi have been running away from Mirage, so why not pick it?
We saw Na'Vi's shortcomings on Mirage just yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you just play this like a full gun round right now if you're Aurora.
Oh, he got the info. Yeah, Makaze stands and does not deliver.
He's going to have a miserable
his openings,
stat line. Like he got 1, I think, at the tail end of that first half. He's 1 for 6 now.
Yeah, not ideal.
Bit 0 and 6.
How's Imer doing? Because he's
actually he's 1 and 7 now.
Potentially going to have a multi here. Not against Zentara's, you won't. Lovely work. I mean, sure, he actually gets the dink, but Fence is mollied. Oh, actually wonderful finding. Madja opens up opportunities for the ramp to double up. Make a play. Nice catch.
Scrappy.
Trying to leave.
Look
This
at
is
these
too
kills.
easy. It's just deathmatch for a bit. Still falls into a 1v1. Woxic, sharp as attack once more.
Has lots of time. This has all happened so quickly. Aurora looking a little bit lazy, thought they had a bit more space. The fight just comes their way. They're expecting Na'Vi to play this one by the book, let the bomb go down and play the retake. But now Woxic allowing the next move to be made. He's had 2 bangers. Can he make it a third to clutch out this 1v3?
How much patience will he have now at 30 seconds? He's already just kind of cut noise and waited. Alexi B elects to do the same. Door close and go for the plant. That seems like it's logically sound. Alexi still hasn't revealed his play. Doors open, damage inflicted, there's an opportunity, finds the upgrade as well, has the nade, but goes for the fight. Alexi does damage. Woxic just needs 1. 1 bullet to the head, puts him down.
Nade.
Awkward now. And he still delivers on the clutch. Alexi tried everything there. Bit of damage on the MP9, pulls out his nades, but at that point, Woxic had already won.
Yeah, Woxic just bailed them out of a situation that could have been pretty detrimental to the mental of Aurora there, right? So you lose that round. Everybody, as they're coming out the door, they're in the site, you got nades out, you're being swung. It's like, boys,
And when you see the
just
kills,
lock it down.
You see the kill Spit's getting, it doesn't look like the enemy team are shooting back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when no one's actually set up. Everyone has a different expectation. Well, now Na'Vi left to force play out the game. Deagle for Makazi.
It's a bit of a jumble sale.
Yep. Hodgepodge by right now.
Oh, I love that from Arcadia. Another
hell.
opening death from Makazi. Yeah, not his map right now. Wonderful that Range still gets his. Two-man secret push. Okay, so with 3 going ramp with the bomb, and CT's looking for answers out yard.
This is just a bit of a statement right here. I know we're still piecing the puzzle of this together, but it was 2-0 last time in favor of Na'Vi, but the scorelines were much closer than this. I think it was like 13-9, 13-10.
Right.
Right now, this is just an absolute blowout. Oh, great adjustment from Arcadia, and this one is just going to keep on going. One man left, Alexi, the in-game leader, with everything to do right now, but his map choice is about to go down the drain in a moment's time. First kill comes in, second not there. Woxic will secure it, and a statement piece from Aurora on their opponent's map choice. That one is going to feel good for a bunch of different reasons. And that bodes very well for them in the series. Their players are on point, they're winning the opening duels, they're feeling quite aggressive. Sure, a couple of moments there where I'd say maybe, just maybe, they got a little bit complacent, but really, in a 13-4 scoreline, what can you argue with? It's both pistol rounds, opening kills.
I think you're right. I think it's just that one round. It is just that one round where Faber would be like, that should have gone wrong. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's pretty polished, it's pretty perfect. And for Na'Vi, I can't help but wonder, how do you, I mean, you're picking Nuke, first of all, so you do have to kind of have the hamstrung start, and Aurora CT side was played to perfection.
Yeah, the last couple of nukes, though, I think about the Mongols one back at EPL, they had a very easy time on their T side to kick things off, right? So Aurora have definitely done their prep. They look very ready. The one round that sticks out to me is where we found ourselves in like a 3v4, 4v4 kind of mid-round, and instead of playing the AWP towards ramp, you know, they rotated 2 players down secret behind them. The AWP moved into main. It felt like they were reading the rotations and the game plan that Na'Vi wanted. So Aurora prepared today, that's for sure. But we've got the Death Standard to break this one down even more.
Thank you so much, Sponge and Machine. Alan, Trav, I'm going to be a little bit mean here. I think Trav used the term punish pick against Aurora. Alan, I think you said 2-0 to Na'Vi. There were a lot of other things thrown around, but my, how the turns have tabled here. Did you see that one coming, boys? Clearly not, because I know what you said before this.
I mean, I certainly saw Worlds for this to be highly competitive, but Worlds where Aurora win this series, but not in that fashion, not on Nuke, certainly not in a state where Na'Vi could never get in the map. That was one of the most dominant maps of this tournament so far, between two teams that should be very evenly matched on a map they both played plenty of times. Nobody ever would have bet on that, Sam.
For sure, but I mean, you did say that you saw some positives when you rewatched their match against EPL. I feel like maybe, and something else you actually said, now I remember, you were like, they need to go back and watch their games.
Yeah.
Clearly they did.
I mean, also, they played an excellent CT side against Na'Vi in their last game. I mean, when you win that CT side that hard, you don't even need to play T side, so that looks even better. So an absolutely fabulous half, and Xantares and Woxic were the 2 players, the biggest part of that. They were so good outside. The number of times Na'Vi actually made it deep into a round about losing players was 0 until round 11. They lost 10 opening duels in a row, and that is simply unplayable. They were absolutely fabulous, those 2, and there's not a lot you can do from Na'Vi's perspective when you're up against these 2 in this sort of form.
Yeah, I think Xantares and Woxic, they have been the 2 players for years on end in Turkish Counter-Strike to really take the mantle up and play up to their opponents in these big games, right? I mean, the spacing and trading for Na'Vi were pretty poor early game. It allowed Aurora to build a bank very, very quickly. It got Woxic on the AWP very, very quickly. It got Xantares dominating outside. That's what he used to do quite a lot outside on CT Nuke until they had this drop-off on form on the map. It seems like that with the issues that I mentioned they've been having with their map pool, with the Anubis, with the Vertigo being removed, maybe that they are putting this extra effort into fixing. We see it with Train. Maybe now we're seeing it with Nuke too.
So we asked about Brain versus Brawn before this. Brawn winning out, Trav?
I think so, at the moment. And you know what? CS2 does lend itself to that, doesn't it? I mean, having the best in-game leader in the world is obviously going to be a lovely factor for you in tournaments and in teams. But when you've got Xantaras and Woxic, when you've got the sort of the people behind you, and Wicadia and Jota just able to deliver at any point you need them, I think it's always something nice to fall back on. And Woxic winning that clutch at the end of the game as well, it shows you that every single important round in the end, Aurora found a way to win. And I thought when Makaze got that double dig to win the Force Buy, that could have been the thing that changed the game. Then the Force Buy war went straight back in Aurora's favor, and that was that.
I kind of felt like when we saw Na'Vi move to CT Trav that we would see the comeback and it would be pretty easy, and that would be that. That was kind of where I was sitting. I'll be honest, I was like, oh, this will happen. And I'm just surprised that there was no adjustment from them, that it didn't feel, I mean, there was a slight adjustment, but not what I was expecting. It just kind of felt like they're not, I'm trying to think of the right words to do this and not make it super emotional, but to me it just kind of looks like they all look a little bit, sad. Like they don't look like flat. When this starts happening, there's a flatness, there's no sort of oomph or like, hey, we've got to get back into this game.
I mean, there was absolutely a point kind of middle of that first half where I was watching Blade and he looked totally despondent. And I can tell you why. It's because the way they were losing opening duels round to round was changing. They were running different rounds and they just couldn't get anything going. And when you're playing every single round from a deficit, you just feel like, what are we supposed to do? We can't run the rounds we planned. We can't run the rounds we prepped because we're never in the right position. Granted, they did win the opening duels in those later rounds. They maybe got a better read on how out is being played by Woxic and Xantaras, but fundamentally, the game was pretty much done by that point. They just slipped way too far down.
I'm a little bit sad. If you're a Na'Vi fan, you might be sad as well. This was a surprise. I think, of course, Aurora fans are over the moon. They have now taken Na'Vi's pick here in this matchup. The winning team, of course, going through to the playoffs. Na'Vi up against Aurora, our winners in Group B. We're going to take a quick reset so you can get some snacks and drinks. And when we return, we're going to be heading to Mirage, that surprise pick from Aurora.
gets the kill in the last second. Right to the smoke. Look at him go.
I muted myself and lifted my microphone up. Super professional here. That's why you won't see me for the rest of the weekend. You are watching Aurora up against Navı. And of course, the big surprise was Aurora taking that Navı map pick. And now we move on to Mirage, which was a surprise coming from Aurora. And I suppose this is the $850,000 prize pool question, which is, what's wrong with Navı right now?
I mean, these T-sides have been a nightmare in some of these games. They played Mirage yesterday against Imperial, and that T-side looked very similar to what we just saw on Nuke, losing opening duels. It was Cello on that occasion from Connector to do a number on them. Xantaras will be there this game, so hardly a fun fight in towards that direction. That's a big fear for them, Sam. They can't afford to play so many rounds man down. They've got Alexi. Alexi's a fabulous mid-round caller. He can get them in good positions, he can get them to win rounds, but fundamentally, if they're not, in an even scenario and getting onto bomb sites, it's hard to work any magic because you're playing with nothing.
A couple of question marks around the Mirage pick. Now that you've had a chance to see Aurora win on Nuke, do you still have those question marks with this map?
I think they're just plainly on better form today. I think they might have a good chance of taking it just because of what we've seen from Na'Vi previously on Mirage in the tournament. I think they do have issues with the spacing and the trading at the moment. It's not just losing the opening duels. It's the basics they might need to just go back to find a way back into this series. And we saw it against Imperial. Alan brought it up. I think there's very big openings for Aurora to make this a punish pick and get this one done.
Keep using the term punish pick. Trav, you did that earlier, and look how it paid off for you. You don't think you've just jinxed it?
I'm happy to put my name out there, dude.
Okay.
I'm happy to put my prediction out there. Honestly, I think this Na'Vi, they've always kind of had a little bit of a tilt factor as well, historically, right? We saw that with the JL roster. They've definitely tempered that since the Makaze edition. I think they kind of feel like they need to be a bit more of a supporter, to adding a younger gun into the team and to sort of help his mental and get him acclimatized. But I don't think they can be at all happy with how the current games are looking. So I hope that doesn't come back to haunt them and doesn't start becoming a factor again with this roster.
How do we think Aurora's going to play on Mirage?
Same way they play on every map, it'll be a hella aggressive CT side, it'll be proactive, Woxic will be on the move just like he was on Nuke. They're a team that loves the set play on T side. They love set rounds, they've always leaned in that direction. So particularly for this map and trying to win this in two, a huge win condition is that Major makes good reads and good calls and goes into the unprotected sides, gets into avenues where Na'Vi isn't defending. If he has a great day today, they absolutely could 2-0 this series.
Yeah, and I think they've clearly done their homework overnight, right? They've almost certainly watched the Na'Vi Imperial game and said, okay, look, we've seen this, we've seen that, we can punish that. We can actually make this one a bit of a shock for them to pick into Mirage and give Na'Vi something different to think about, rather than what would have been an expected map like we've played them before and failed against. So may as well try something different, may as well change it up. When you've lost the last two series against them 2-0, you're going to need to do that.
How important is this game in the bigger picture of competitive Counter-Strike this year for both of these teams and where they're sitting? How important is a victory here?
It's not an elimination game, it's a progression game. They're both going to still be in the tournament, whoever loses. I do think Na'Vi need to win it to prove that they are on the up and they can show that they're continuing the progress from Pro League, outperforming their own expectations. Aurora, they plainly need to win this tournament, this tournament or the next tournament. Might be their best chance in however long, with how the invites have panned out, and then being one of the higher ranked teams at this event and the next event at PGL. So to have a day off will be lovely for either of them.
There you go. This is it. There is a chance that Aurora can 2-0 this and get revenge on Na'Vi after their loss at EPL. Is that going to happen? We're about to find out.
Absolutely, we are. I'm very excited to see if Na'Vi can dust off their Mirage, because it's kind of not a do or die, because that lower bracket Trav is mentioning, but it is but for both teams an important one as far as the trophy lift is concerned.
Keep using the word confidence as well. If you lose this game, you have to win a match tomorrow, and you'll be on Furia's side of the playoff bracket, right? So it's only going to be 4 teams in the playoffs. Right. But would you prefer to play Furia? Would you prefer to play Mongols, right? So that's something you got to keep in mind. That's assuming Mongols win tomorrow. Something else to keep in mind: I don't see both pistols losing all the clutches and losing 80% of opening kills going against Na'Vi in this map.
That's very likely.
Right, so
Yep.
this one is definitely going to be more competitive because those three things are not all going to happen again. And if they do, I guess I was wrong. But they were bang on the desk, right? We did see poor T-side out of Na'Vi before on Mirage, giving away a lot of opening kills. Mikaze, again, hemorrhaging those. But they get to start on the CT side. So the focus is going to be on the mid-core, of course. It's going to be Mikaze, Imma, and Wonderful as that mid-trio. Bit holding down A as the anchor, and Alexi B holding B.
Oh, naturally. Yeah. Be in the name.
Be in the game.
Be in the game. And for Madja, unfortunately, no 3.
Madja.
He is going to be feeling himself after the first, a very dominant win on an opponent's map pick. That's got to put you in a good headspace as far as calling's concerned. A win condition outlined by the desk is his reads. Obviously, that's one of those unquantifiables. But let's get this one started. Does look like we're going to be seeing the Turkish side starting on the attack.
Yeah, just for the cameraman, let's see if we can be on a little doll watch, shall we? Doll's probably the wrong. Let's call it mascot watch. So we've seen the Joker.
The Chibis and the Weebies.
For Wakadia. I don't know exactly what that was for Wonderful. Part of me thinks it was a gorilla.
Maybe it is.
Oh, well, let's find out as we progress. Okay. A couple of smokes, HE, 2 flashes, and dual Berettas for the defense of Na'Vi. The attack, smoke, double flash, and a molly. And they're going to be better down on A. Madja searching top mid with the molly. He might do that towards window, which would make you think a B split is possible. Yeah, they're feigning a B split into an A walk. 3 players here to defend.
Wonderful default bit to be set up for that multi-kill once more. Gets the info, doesn't get the headshots, and Tara's hands him a bullet, goes for jump shots, does Jota. Bit though, he is that late piece and cleared out. Nice precision from Wakadia and co. Aurora take the site, likely to take the round. Alexi, smoke and flash for the retake. Kaze first man in. We need a quick click here. First bullet goes awry.
Honestly, if Alexi had armor, I'd be saying both just save your Kev right now.
There it is, eventually. The War of Attrition won on Woxic default. Time, however, half gone. You might get an overreaction.
Info on all 3.
Okay, 1-on-1. Mikaze, I mean, he's doing it for the points. He's getting for the extra $300. Can't do it. Sticks around, a smile creeps onto Wakadia's face. A lovely, impactful pistol from him.
Okay, so 3 out of 3 pistols so far, and another opening kill in favor of Aurora. I'll be keeping count, don't you worry about that. I got the notepad out, the tally will keep on ticking up.
You said it couldn't.
Yeah.
Or wouldn't, rather. It certainly could.
Maybe I should have said shouldn't.
Yeah, that's better. But we saw Na'Vi's capacity for winning second rounds. It's
True.
Not impossible.
Especially with Mikaze dig, but right now it's Mikaze Famus. 3-man B start, 1 towards window, 1 towards A. So that's the split of the defenses. You guys got to do something a little bit more booky on a round like this. Pressure applied. Something on the T side, you can't just sit in a default spread and wait for too long, right? You need to make sure that you're showing yourself across the map. You want to try and siphon out the CT block utility in a round like this, because you know that it's going to be light. So if you're able to apply pressure early, you'll burn it, and then you give yourself a lot more time to work into things. So juggling nades on this B stack. Hoping for that B finish. Magic joins Zantara's in through the underpass. You got 2 players towards top mid of Woxic and Wakadia. On the extremity will be Jota over towards A ramp. Could try flash and jump out the window. It would be crazy. Yep, okay, it is crazy. And it didn't work. Another opening kill.
I like the idea.
It's an idea, right? Yeah, I do like that they gave something a go. That's the B-man. So does that send them back into the stack, or at least what once was? This is looking problematic, Alex. That's the bomb loose.
That is the bomb. That's a lot of info.
Zantara's is low.
And with Con occupied as well, Bit can really lend a hand on bomb retrieval missions. Jota comes in to flank the flank. Ooh, gets away with it. Bit still found Madja, though. It's an obvious find for Wonderful. Wakadia shuts him down, and now the Desert Eagle 1v3 from Imma. I think it's asking a lot.
Yeah, well, Zantara's is low, though. So if there's an overpeak out of confidence, the bomb getting planted in the open, he's picked up a Mac 10, might be able to find a juicier upgrade. As he goes around the world, maybe not. So considers that. Maybe just wanted to be out of audible. I feel like, you know...
Give it a look.
Nah, save the AK.
Okay, fine.
Right, because he's low as well. It's unconfirmed damage on Zantara's of exactly how much Alexi feels like he did. AK will give you something to be threatening into the next. You've done good financial damage, so I'm thinking long game. You're thinking glory.
I was thinking glory. But then an AK does sound pretty damn good early doors.
He can drop the Deagle, so at least that's going to give them at least 2. Right? Somebody else is going to upgrade into something, I'm sure. Maybe a P250 in the mix.
Yeah, and you just go, you call around the AK, right? Maybe you boost him lower, throw a smoke lower, and try and catch someone early mid. Lots of options for the aggressive AK opening.
But when that first rifle round rolls around to the next, we need to see a little bit of resistance, right? Because the first map was an absolute drubbing, a 13-4 scoreline, as touched upon both pistols, 2 clutches going in the favor of Aurora, and they had 80% of the opening kills. It was 14-3 in a 17-round game. 2 digs, 2 USPs, the AK. He's got that head armor.
Ooh.
He's made the leap of faith. No HE to break this open, so he's going to try and play up and over it. Oh, the T's will break it for him. So Wakani doesn't want anybody up close and personal. Rallying more util, dodging the flashes. 3 flashes to get him across the mid-box, and now spotted. Great opener, Emma on the board.
Brilliant start for Navı. Just a saved rifle and some sidearms leads to an opening.
This is where frustrations will start to brew for Aurora if they lose this. I know they've given over the opening kill, but they still have a heavy weapon advantage. And util, mind you. Minute 10. How long do they take to make a decision? Not buying it. B block, they're going to have to go through this. If they wait it out, the rotation will be there.
It was just a USP on Alexi and a smoke grenade. There's the nade, and here they go. Back of the bench, Alexi B cowers in fear, delaying the inevitable. He gets spotted out, Magic brings him down. There is a little discrepancy. Just the one from Makaze.
All right, well handled. Just need to make sure Joda gets an upgrade away from the Mac 10 and everything's good. Had Emma go down with a bit of a off-screen action. There was a fight from Zintares on short. So that will be 3-0. A little bit more resistance being found within these rounds. There's a gun available for Joda to try and scoop up. And he's found something on the B side a little bit closer.
Can Wonderful make it to the Galil?
Oh, does he want the kills instead?
Ooh.
He's going to buy it all next round anyway. That's just for his boys. Okay, so scoop that up. That's great. I think if you're Alexi, you can take that. That's just as efficient to anchor down that B bomb site.
Yeah, but at some point you grow fatigued of silver linings and would prefer just a clear sky.
Of course. Yeah, there has to be the rain.
Kind of a bar, actually. Kind of a bar.
Yeah, in life, as is Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Some days are better than others.
Yeah.
Some rounds are better than others.
Like, you know, it is nice that we got a kill. It is nice that I saved. I would like to win a round at some point.
Let's just start with a round, shall we? Found an opening kills. That's good.
It's a very forward stance, isn't it?
Yeah, just trying to be jarring, right? Not give them the first timings on the default. So they will be able to get it, but they have clearly wanted to wait out the CT harassed utilities. And Tara's mid-box, but they're still coming for him.
Yeah, he's actually kind of
He saw
using
3.
that. What? Zintares gets caught out.
That's the bomb. Mate, it's doing too much talking. Get your gun out.
Oh, it could be okay if you can flush him out with the Molotov and just tap him back, claw it back into the 4-on-4.
Support.
If a jiggle, support arrives. Ooh, they nearly lost Woxic and Macardia. In the meantime, a little standoff on B. Madja calling a lot. You can see his mouth moving.
Yeah, battle of the in-game leaders. At least there was going to be a 1v1 available. Makazi will change the dialogue on that. I think Madja just trying to be in a safe position to call the macro off of the radar.
And he'll be able to hear any jump spots, boosts.
He's doing an awful lot of talking. Window smoke lands. You've still got the lurk over towards A. Oh, dear.
Does he just walk straight past?
Hello.
Yes, he does.
Take it, take it, take it, take it.
And accelerate. Drops into the site, doesn't even look concerned about Shaw, and yeah, gets punished for it, but he does confirm for his team. Not only is Alexi B dead, Makaze Shaw, bit spotted in the market window. Trapped forward by the flame. Wonderful hits his shot. Makaze catches Macardia midair. And it was a well-intentioned idea by Madja, but Makaze being overlooked, and it just stops.
I feel like I'm saying take it because you get that kill, you just go on with it, right?
Yeah.
And you're hoping your teammate's able to run in, but Makazi, then he gets alerted to the situation. So you can be, well, no, why didn't you just walk into the site and see? I think if the player's pushing, you're assuming that the site is probably a little bit more empty in the first place.
Fair assumption.
So a lot to go through your mind within that moment there, but yeah, off of the three-man mid kind of prong that Xantares is definitely letting his team know about. He's the one that gets caught off guard, knowing that they were relatively offensive in middle. I guess just not expecting the complete follow-through.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, something on the board, and the money now in question for Aurora. Already having to go down to a couple of Mac 10s. It's going to be 3 AKs alongside of that. Window Smoke will land, playing ahead of it again. They break, and well, all sector clear, at least for now. Going through all the standard motions of the default top cat smoke window in play. Madger in through the B apps, making no secret, throwing flashes, making noise, showing he's in through the underpass. And that looked like that were set up to pounce on towards A with a split, but there has been a reroute, a regroup. It's Alexi B on the jump spot. He's just flashed towards top mid for them to try and clear that out as the 3 prongs. Bits blocked over towards A. And Alexi has used his smoke as well. So mid call clear, that means the sites are on high alert for a potential pop. That draws back Makazi to join his in-game leader. And again, it's the Jota lurk on A. Maybe this time it'll be better timed because...
He's throwing a smoke, trying to sell something now. Actually, oh, a double smoke fake, okay.
That one is a bit deep. That's not a great smoke.
Yeah, you could get a bit of a shock as 4 players start running through it with Mac 10s as the spearhead of this one. But what is the timing on this? They're waiting for Jota to do something. He starts to commit into the site now, gets spotted out, confirms 2 there. Ooh, parting's not bad. They get the info. Empty hands for Alexi, but Makaze consistent. Can't stop the plant, but he can stop every single one of them. Backup goes down, and it's just Makadia. A last-ditch effort on the site. Solid hold again from Makaze.
Yeah, okay, well done there. You can see what I was talking about. Alexi having to worry about the left and the right of that smoke just with how deep it was, so having to worry about more entry paths. Obviously, it doesn't come back to bite them, but the bomb does go down, so there can be a couple of light upgrades. Exchanging a word between Alexi and Makaze, never gets a smile on his face anyway. So you've done the hard work in back-to-back rounds. Now you might get your easiest round of the game just yet. Ooh. As I say that, we can see buys starting to be pieced together. No timeout conversation either, so Faber must be happy with the decision that's being made. Wakardia coming in with an AK. Loss bonus into the next round, 2,400, so it feels like over-investment from Aurora. I know they want to keep this CT economy relatively humble, so it's still at breakpoint, but this is going to cost the flow-on of rounds unless they can get something done. So all eyes on Wakardia with the biggest of the weapons right now.
Ooh, wonderful. Confirms presence in under, and we'll think twice about overstaying. Susceptible to top mid. Okay, audible jump spot. That might be a window where they try and kind of catch him off guard. This contact walk of pistols. And Woxic Scout, not to be underestimated either. It's wonderful, though, has the zoom banger of his own, and removing Xantares. First blood being drawn. Bacardi looks like he's destined to be caught by Immer on these clears. Lovely proactive work from Immer.
Yeah, a little bit messy, but now it's a 3v5. And this should be the round. So I'm curious to see what Aurora go for in the purchases into the next. It's a good flash. Alexi's off the line, but he always has the support. Makazi not far away.
Yeah, will he actually get nothing done for the first time? Every time they've got this site, Makazi at least gets 1, chips in. 5 alive for Navı.
Okay, that's a very nice round. So we're all tied up. They've put themselves in a strong position now for this CT half. I don't know what Woxic's going to operate with, and the same for Wakardia, right? So if I'm Madra, I'm probably giving the AK across to Wakardia, take the Mac 10. Woxic, if he goes head armor, is going to have even less options. So they put themselves in a bit of a pickle right now. And in that situation, you can see what they're going for. If they apply that B pressure, you know it calls Makazi back from short to assist Alexi. That's just standard operating procedure for your short player. Then you're hoping it weakens up the mid defense. You're able to find yourself a bit of an avenue, but Orp on the line gets the opening kill. Emma playing Joker in the window, activates and takes him down. 30 seconds for both of the coaches to issue the orders. But the buy just looks ugly, doesn't it? You've got Galil on Woxic without head armor. Xantares is an AK-47 with no U2 and no head armor. Makazi is on the MAC-10. So if they get in a duel with Makazi or Alexi on those A4s, one bullet's going to do it. Just no like playing in the chaos in the mid util. There's no spamming. There's no like taking a 50-50. Second timing. Now they're going.
Going quick, fast, furious. Imet holds on to his life just by a gnat's wing. 6 HP left on him when he meets that MAC-10. Wonderful Zorp revealed on B. Forces rotations. Imet getting cheeky in the smoke. Can't believe he's pushing this. They won't believe it either.
Hello.
Oh, brilliant. Again, positionally sound. Imet up for more. Can't hit this last tap. The damage is done. Woxic and Jota completely isolated. Bomb on the back of Jota ladder. Woxic freed up to go searching for perhaps an upgrade or a push.
And I just hope that they're not considering a save, because they very well could be. I like that one. At least it came with a little bit of excitement to it, right? There was a pace change, but if Wakadia had anything better than a MAC-10, he probably gets that kill on Imma, because he did catch him off guard. Sure, you can argue, well, he wouldn't have had the same ability on the movement there.
Yeah, he approached it well. Imma, nice reactions.
Yeah, and then as they go to clamp down, that AWP of Wonderful strikes over towards B. So the two of them are going to give it a go. Shake of the stick right now, and they're announcing the presence. Molly in towards window, up, connector.
Yes, Alexi being bit tested. Nice cover from Woxic. Jota, he goes down, and now no immediate trade from Woxic. The cavalry arrives, and Makazi again chips in. It feels like whatever extremity you're hitting, Makazi's going to arrive on time.
Okay, so that's going to be 4 straight rounds. It will have to be the partial coming out now from Aurora. The rifles with the loss bonus maxed out of 3,400 into the next, and maybe you get yourself that Woxic AWP. And that's it right there. So obviously harder to track with the movement. Might not have been as agile with a Kalila or an AK in his hands, but either way, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Good responses now from Na'Vi, starting to activate. They've equaled the same amount of rounds they were able to get on their map choice of Nuke. But this is CT side Mirage. Get yourself 7 rounds. 8's not bad either. And they're going to have to do it the hard way by losing that pistol round. So building back into things, finding their footing and some confidence. Dust 2 is the third decider if we need to get there. Easy.
Footing found. Double entry found.
Just count the amount of different timings or layerings of util that they've gone through to harass middle. All right, break open top cat smoke, molly the mid box. Right, whether you've gone there, the underpass flash, break the connector smoke. There's so many different methods that the CTs are just using in the modern game to harass defaults. It's made, obviously, things very dynamic moving into CS2 with the way that the smoke function with the HE.
And you know, the fashion is cyclical, so as strats, do we start seeing people go back to those set pieces off the
just
rip?
all in, catching them off guard, playing ahead of like smoke molly defenses.
It's likely to see a return.
It's just this layering, right, that everyone's talking about of these moves.
Imer pushing as they mess with the booze. They break the smoke, and a sitting duck for Imer. Moxic forced to do cartwheel involuntarily. And first blood drawn once more for Na'Vi. This CT side set up for success. And then it's just, I mean, it's like we've seen this round before. The CT gets aggressive. Someone starts activating for space into Wonderful Zorp. Makaze, yeah, okay, looks like Xantares is just already accepted.
I kind of feel it. It's like, okay, so you lose the opening kill, great, but then why are we all just, at this point, going individually? I think the assumption is, oh, they've got a full mid control. The fact he's pushed up, there has to be more, so that means the extremities need to be weak. But that wasn't the case at all, and they've had 2 players take a risk. 1 player, yeah, but 2 players trying to leer in, get a kill, get some space to get it back, and everybody just tumbles one at a time, and now you have 2 players left in a 2v5. What are you meant to do with this?
There's nothing you can do.
These are very frustrating rounds to be left alive in. It's like, well, everybody's dead. The first, we left spawn, we threw our opening util, and we're dead. And now what do we do? Do we save? That's going to have an impact on further rounds. We can't even give this one a go. We didn't get any territory to thrive in any chaos.
Just textbook stuff from Na'Vi. Nice to have a player like him calling his shot as well.
Yeah, like you got Makazi on 13 kills, right? Compared to how dumpstered he was getting on map 1 with the opening deaths. Same with Bit, but it's Imma and Makazi as part of this mid combo. It's those 3 names. Makazi, Imma, Wonderful. They're the highest flyers at the moment, but if they're able to shut down mid, if they're able to harass the default, then that forces you into like more direct plays as Aurora, right? So now you're doing side executes, then you get to see more out of the anchors. It's not that they haven't tried to harass B, they have. It's just Mikazi's rotated there in time to be supportive. So he feels like he's in the best spot to back up his in-game leader. These AKs will be carried through. The loss bonus is maxed out, but I feel like you have to partial right now. Hope that you get a plant, and then you'll be able to get a full buy into the next. Looks like they're going to shove. Khalil's in lieu of AKs. Util there, but I'm expecting, if I'm Na'Vi at this moment, something more direct. Something like a 4-1 potential execute, probably cat smoke, window smoke, maybe someone selling something and then everyone grouped up trying to pounce. You can't keep just going in with these defaults, getting picked off one at a time.
Can't believe him is going to give it another crack.
Same move too.
Yeah, hoping that that's enough. Cardia not going to be deterred. Avoids the vulnerability of the smoke break. Ima actually goes for a second attempt and a jumping Wukardia nearly lost his head. There it is. Zantares provides an opening for Aurora.
Okay, that's the support network for Alexi gone. So do you want to try and now reroute back into a B execute knowing Alexi should be there on his own? We can see that's not the case with the setup, but is that the thought process for Aurora?
Nice shooting bit. Once more as well, goes looking for Zantares. Alexi profits. Patience on a site. Madja with the bomb, spotted out. Alexi gets info off of his flashbang. They know what's up, they saw the bomb. Na'Vi arrived just in time. Perfect team play on display here from Na'Vi. This is looking polished, this is looking like a whole different squad in contrast with that nuke.
Okay, well just, yeah, more of this AWP towards B, the Joker of Alexi over towards A, that caught them off guard there. Kerfuffle in mid, Bit fighting like really proactively over towards Con. Very like Vitality-esque, is something that Flamesy could be doing, so at this point it might just be another Zantares save. Well, the pistol round feels like a lifetime ago now. It was that with the conversions that did look a little bit dicey at times. Now 7 straight rounds for Na'Vi.
Gun round merchants in Mirage right now.
Doing much better with those opening kills as well. So night and day difference from map number 1. 2 kills for that of Jota and Madja, 3 for Woxic. Wukardia still trying to find some impact, 7 frags for him. Zantares with 6.
Yeah, if anything, this looks it looks more cosmetic than it should. Na'Vi have had full control after the initial 3.
So at this point of the game, when it was Na'Vi on the T side of Nuke, they started to throw caution to the wind, right? It was a little bit more direct out the gates with pace. I wonder if we see that change now, because if I'm Aurora and I'm going, this guy's just running up mid. Right, they're blowing open the top cat smoke. He's just running up mid, taking the fight. So how can we catch him off guard? All right, well, let's get the standard window smoke in. Let's get cat on. Let's throw a molly like that lands in the mid corridor. That's going to limit his options of how much he can harass. Let's flash. Let's swing in front of the island box. Let's try and punish him. But I think the thing at the moment, with how proactive CT sides are being, especially on maps like Inferno, Mirage definitely with licks of it around middle as well, is the layering of the protocols. It's like, all right, well, we open like this. We need it open. We have the flash. Then there's another flash that comes through if they start swinging. Then we go back to underpass. We check that, right? Like, it's all not scripted, but everybody knows like what some of the options are, and they flow from one to the other. So those gaps that exist for the Ts to try and exploit are very limited on first timings, which is maybe why Aurora are staying away from them.
Certainly a possibility. There's method to their madness, for sure.
Flash.
Double swing, different elevations. Woxic does well to weather the storm. Wonderful, however, ready for Jota on Palace as well.
This is the joy of Counter-Strike, right? And when things are going your way, like the level of conditioning. It's like, okay, so they went mid, they harassed us, we'll try it again. Surely they're not going to, they do it again. Okay, well, now we have to change our tune. Like we have to try something different. We can't just keep running the same round. They try to go towards A, there's the flash, there's the fight. Wonderful, on form with the AWP. Keeps on searching and wonderful. Grabs another, could have flicked down into Wukardia, but it's just last man standing. 1 on 4 goes 1 on 3.
That is his round, regardless of whoever gets this last one. Wonderful quad kill. And it starts with a lovely, like, proactive CT move on display from Na'Vi. Okay, Wukardia. More competitive than they would have hoped.
Yeah, it's made a conversation of it, and you can see that Imma's in 2 minds right now, because if he keeps pushing and Wukardia accelerates, he'll be far away from the action.
Alexi's actually going to try and work around the smoke. Open Wukardia going to try and use that smoke to his own advantage. Still looking middle.
25 seconds, time's going to be the problem. Does he commit to this? Little does he know, this would be the best of the options.
You're right. When will he make sound? 10 seconds. Alexi considers the pathing just in time. 8, 7. He'll start to get the plant. Gets it safe from Alexi's angle.
Still has this molly as well. They're going to group up for the retake.
Shape, yeah. Nice movement from Ima to ensure they come from shore.
He has an incendiary, HE, and a smoke. So between the two of them, full belt of nades. If the smoke gets on the bomb, it's all over.
It looks like it's about to be. Alexi crossing through, chance to isolate perhaps. He's used the smoke on the door. The molly's still pertinent. It could actually win the round now. Throw out the molly. They don't have the smoke. You win the round. Just like that, Wakardia coming up clutch for Aurora. Na'Vi left helpless. Nothing Alexi can do in this one, and everything Wonderful just did was for nothing.
You said it was Wonderful's round. Turns out it was Wakardia's after all.
Wow.
The fact that he's even been allowed to pull that off is magnificent from Wakardia, and it's actually given them a little bit of a chance in this now. What could have very well been a 9-3 half could be 7-5. You win the pistol, it's back on. Doesn't matter how you get the rounds, just as long as you get them. So it's pissed around with conversions, and now this clutch.
You could have thrown the molly right there, Chad. I'm glad he holds on to it now.
It's the same with the smoke. It's like, okay, so that could go on the bomb, but instead they've used it in a position right there to try and cotton off a doorway, and it's just really cost them.
Holy.
Can you make it one more, Aurora? Has Wakardia inspired the troops?
I'm feeling a little inspired. We'll see how Aurora are doing. Last round, second map, third game, second day here at Thunderpick World Championship. Last round of the first half here on Mirage.
Coming for the fight.
Yeah, Wonderful sweeping through. Zentaris has already got past the line. Madja's a dead man. Wonderful draws first blood. Pursuit of 8. A step closer.
Well, they just won a number disadvantage situation. I know it had to be a crazy clutch, but maybe they could do it again. Still just parked in middle. Feels like this is going to be their tomb, doesn't it? Emma's still on con. He's been great in this half. Crossfire fully set up. Wonderful's AWP now established over towards Ticket. Bit gets to burrow down towards A. So it doesn't feel like there's any weaknesses in the defense right now. 45 seconds. Kazi starting to search on Cat.
He's got a perfect opportunity. 3 backs turn. Is that real? No, didn't look at Con. They're not ready for the activation of him. 30 seconds, Wakardia. We've seen this before, but I think the result going to be very different now. Pathing forward, bodies on default, swings ahead of the smoke, and 8 for Na'Vi at the half. Swapping sides, an 8-round CT haul on Mirage. Is that par for the course? Is that above expectations?
I'd say slightly above.
Yeah.
Right? I think like 6-6, 7-5, something you'd be expecting on a map like Mirage. So they are sitting pretty. But remember, they haven't got a pistol just yet, so it could come at the perfect time to guarantee this third map of Dust too.
Right.
I just love reflecting on that setup right there. It's like, okay, so late, they haven't shown themselves. The Utah's starting to fade, and you just have so many bodies to deal with that. You've got Wonderful able to jump up on Ticket. You've got the face from window, con, connector, everything going on there in favor of Na'Vi to put that final round on the board. So gun rounds, really not to speak of, right? You can't attribute a Wakardia clutch as a great call. That's not the case at all, right?
Yeah.
So you win the pistol, you win the conversions. Those are the type of rounds that feel like they must wins to give yourself a buffer, and then a clutch on top. So that's everything that you have at the moment.
And it just felt like for Jota and for Madja, everywhere they went was a walk into a Wonderful shot. You know, like he was just holding them for every single progress they were making. Here's an example. There's a perfect example. But that was Madja's life all half. I think Jota suffered a similar fate as well. Wonderful really is in form. And I mean, you need to see your sniper having impact in that server, especially on the CT side. So Wonderful has played his part wonderfully, if you pardon the pun.
Yeah, this one has been about Emma with the opening kills and Wonderful. So 8 between the two of them and 9 in total for the CT side throughout that first half of play. Really keeping eyes on that because it does appear to be a massive win condition in map number 1. If you are just joining us, 14 opening kills in favor of Aurora to the 3 of Na'Vi in a 17-round game.
Took them a while to warm up, but certainly warming into things.
I like the fact that they've lost that first map in such a bad fashion where you'd expect everything to be quite low. You come in, you lose the pistol, that's going to take things even lower.
Yep.
And then they've required like quite a high level of comms and teamwork. Sure, the individuals hitting some big shots, but they've been able to really bail themselves out and put themselves back in contention for this series.
I mean, looking at the left side of your screen, it looks like it might be a bit of a nerdy pistol to start us off.
Yeah, probably up, down smokes. It's a question about where the molly's going to be used for. And how many can Wakadia get on these dual Berettas? He does have the support of Woxic and a flash.
Okay, he gets flashed in, and actually very messy. Happy to have got one there. Wonderful onto Wakadia, running out another. Yep, that's a nice one from Makaze. Yeah, they're going to fight CT, low HP, they're going to group up.
Nade could do it.
Nade looks good, destined for glory. Jota does hit onto Makaze, double kill on retake. And Alexi realizing it's CT-centric.
If Alexi can get in the jungle, he can flash for Bit.
That could be the play. Bit needs it. Oh, more than a flash, it's a kill first. Now they know where Bit's at. Jota gives him a free tap. Nice headshot. It's Na'Vi. They get their first pistol of the series, and it's for the 9th as they swap sides.
Okay, well, now it's Aurora's turn to try those force buys on for size.
Could very well be equal to the nuke scoreline, but both teams just beating each other on the opponent's map pick.
Yeah, you know what Sam's going to say when they get back out on the desk? You're going to call poor Trav out for the calling it a punish pick. Well, prepared for the punishment, or maybe waiting for it. Gluttons for punishment right now.
Yeah, likely.
5 MP9s. This is where Aurora kind of started to turn heads last year when they were Eternal Fire, and they were really good at these type of rounds. Magic always seemed to have an idea. They were able to convert these, and it did come in similar fashion. It was with stacks, right? They would stack off and hope that they were able to get that opening kill or find some really pesky trades. Well, right now, you've lost Magic early seeking info, and they've just quickly made their way out con. Now, normally when they lose these, they try and hold on. They're actually going to try and fight, but look how far forward they are. They're not ready for this at all.
Yeah, they were not anticipating Alexi posted up in a CT position.
He'll lose everything.
Yeah, piece by piece, penny by penny, discarded by Na'Vi.
Well, Dust2 was the pick of Aurora last time round. So the fact that it's the 3rd, right? We've seen them change the choice. Now they will be picking in to Mirage, and it hasn't gone well. But they were happy to play Dust2 last time round. So with that as the 3rd, I think both teams will be content going into this. Remember, winner of this will lock themselves in for the playoffs. It's going to be 4 teams out of the 8. Single elimination bracket with the best of 5 on Sunday. 850,000 prize pool, 500,000 for first prize. That's almost 60%. Jota, if you had a kid, you might get excited about something. Found his way to the bomb, but we'll receive the bullets. And now you decide, do we want to force buy out the game? Do we take the save now, give over 11, and then have an 11-4 comeback required? It's probably the option. That'd be the choice.
Yeah,
that is the choice.
Lesser of 2 evils there.
I've seen Wakadia go for 2 options of investments. He went Deagle armor, and now he's gone Famous armor. So, going to continue to try and stress things. Keep a bogey gun in the mix to keep Na'Vi under a little bit of pressure, but that was 4 players staying alive, and it's the Good Vibe Tribe in the black and yellow right now.
Yeah, things are flowing nicely. Good reset. Not ready for the close corner that Zantara is occupied, and Alexi looking for that belated trade, but
the bomb.
Bomb now spotted, and oh my god, he's alive for a moment. Longer force wide, and now down to the Deagle. Jota profits. It's Wacadia's Famas that actually could be set up for success. Bit's mantled up though. He clears him out with ease. Here's Makaze. Good clear. Straight down. Hello.
Yeah, diligent stuff. Reading the stack. Now the molly, matchup, desperation, and that is handled.
Very
It's
nice.
dicey there for a moment. Yeah, crazy Zantara's trying to cross-connect and thinks that the Deagle from that firebox would be enough support, but he gets caught, and there you have it. So into the gun rounds now, it will be that 11-4 comeback that Aurora have to embark on. Moxie does come out to play. Wakadia will, unfortunately... Oh no, Madge has been a nice guy. He's given his M4 over to Wakadia.
That's the selfless leader.
Yeah, well, not going to be feeling so good if it is a B hit, huh?
Not at all. Wonderful. Straight mid, and hoping to catch Zantara's or that short swing of Wakadia. He's got a good idea as to what Zantara's is up to with that deep smoke under. Yeah, just like that. Easy pickup.
But what's going on, right? Like, I'm not sure what they thought was going to happen there. They didn't harass top mid boxes at all. There was no flash to get him out. It was just, oh, okay, I'm going to try and take a swing on top mid, and it's the AWP on the line. So another opening kill given over. and this should be 12.
Yeah, it might have been one of the, you know, the aircast. Oh, I'm holding under, actually. I'm going to be holding under. Fail the jump.
Oh, no.
How does he get a second one there?
Yeah, beautiful stuff from Beer. This is starting to heat up now for Na'Vi. Their players are locked in, right? It was that mid trio, but now everybody else. Sure, Wonderful goes down. The bomb through Palace. They should be able to swing on this.
Okay, actually an opportunity for Jota to do more. Molly to limit Bit's movements. XCB with the bomb, Dark Herd. Maja scurries towards CT ASAP.
Defensive smoke to plant it potentially.
They're not looking. Okay, Maja at least finishes off the job with one. Lexi getting tricky with it. Flies up the ladder trying to flash out Jota, both well aware of their opponent's position. Jota's had a quiet day on Mirage. Clutch here could inject hope for Aurora. Looking for it. Messing around with nades. Jota's going to have to play. Falls back. 15 seconds as Alexi looking to get that bomb planted. Solid damage, great connection. And he's just got infinite nades, it seems. A lovely one. Jota, however, oh, the progression! Not what Alexi was thinking, not what he was ready for, and Wonderful's AWP going to be retrieved and the bomb defused.
Okay.
Aurora showing signs of life.
So let's just recount the rounds they've won. So the pistol and then the 2 conversions and 2 clutches. Right, so at the moment, they still haven't won a single rifle round that has been quite a clean day at the office. They still need to find that. So with so many casualties, sure, they get the AWP back. That's something to give to Woxic. There's enough money on 3 out of the 5 players for Na'Vi to go for another full buy. So you will see that again and likely greeted with MAC-10s or Galils around it. So no dramas for them to buy back in. They still have Aurora exactly where they want them. And it's looking like another drubbing on the menu, unless Aurora use that as inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, we've had those moments, just as you've highlighted, a gun round, a nice, full, everyone's got everything.
Just to start building the buffer, right? Because you're really at death's door with 11 rounds against you already, but like, even if you lose one, you want to be able to buy back in. That's not the case right now. Wonderful again, given the good graces of this top mid position. Only one player staying alive and dropping the AWP. It's going to be light on with the util to harass. It's so different from what we saw from Na'Vi in the first half. Able to play aggressive, molly the mid box, nade away the cat smoke. Right now, if you're Aurora, you're going to just have to kind of burrow down a little bit more and then back your aim. Na'Vi, from the start of the round, had the util advantage and still do as we move into the minute and 15 mark. Consmoke layered in, 3 towards middle, 2 towards A, so what feels telling of an A split. That smoke hasn't landed perfectly. Actually going to give Bit something to play around.
Smoke, actually, yeah, awkward, landing on the lip. Jota does reside under. That's a better smoke, that's what they were looking for. Tares versus Imad. Alexi partners up, and actually in combination with Wonderful Zorb, they'll overcome him.
It's beautiful though with the spacing. Triple swing essentially.
Yeah, right, from all these different heights and elevations as well.
2 players very low. Make it 1 now.
Oh, he's in so much trouble though. Nice kill, actually onto the AWP, that was the healthy Wonderful, now taken down. Exposed, Bit goes for the trade, Maja delivers, but no worries, Makaze's back in the building.
19 and 10.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic work. Ooh, the bomb gets away. That was a chance. Now Makaze occupies a very forward position. Can't be spotted just yet by Woxic.
Needs to be another clutch, no kit.
Sticking around on triple, could be susceptible.
Oh, spotted. He was spotted there for sure.
Makaze cross back towards the Palace. Lovely angle from Alexi, crouching down. Woxic not ready. The 12th is Na'Vi's.
Okay, well, both of these maps blowouts on their opponent's map choice, so at least a little bit of equilibrium in that regard. It's just going to be the Force in, couple of M4s, a FAMAS, MP9, and, well, Woxic's weapon of choice right now, but getting ragdolled. So Dusty didn't work last time. Mirage does it this time, but the former up next. Just 1 round away from that as Na'Vi can really, in a round like this, take your time. It's not the AWP going to top mid-box. Here comes a fight.
Okay, and with Jota's help, Zentares will prevail. Makaze accelerates, knows the focus is mid. Cardia catches the back turn of Makaze, empty hands for the first time. On his pathing A. It provides some overwatch, gets cleared out by Jota. Okay, so Aurora, just as they're cornered up against the ropes, they find themselves one of the cleanest CT openings we've seen.
Yeah, and it came with a little bit of proactive nature, right?
Yeah.
On their T side, it was quite default heavy. They weren't really getting stuck in. They were allowing the fights to come to them. That's what it felt like for the majority of this second half of play as well. And then finally, when it's like, oh, well, the chips are down, we can't win, let's just go aggressive. And they're able to use that to their advantage, because in the first half, think about how good the individuals were. Woxic on the AWP, taking all those silo shots, everybody just delivering damage. Wonderful, 18 and 6, a great map from him. It's a game of try and save or hope the kills come your way to try and get back into things. At this point, 45 seconds, bomb still down towards T-spawn. Taking both elevations on this, little do they know, the round is essentially been handed over.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, money's not great for Na'Vi, so you can justify this. It is just going to extend play for a moment longer. We'll just sit and wait as we do get to see Wonderful and Alexi hold on to their U2 and weapons of choice. Jack, can you find yourself something a little bit better than this Fab as he's heading over towards A to see what scraps are remaining. Oh, no, the Famous is what it'll be. All right. Well, definitely not a specky round by any stretch, but it's only a 6-round gap. If they want to climb this mountain, they can take us to overtime. This series not delivering in the same fashion as what the Furia versus Mongols game did. And that one right there, I think the playstyle of those teams are playstyles which are definitely much more electric, right? Yeah. They a bit more reactive. I know that Furia and Fallen are happy to play slow, quite opponent dependent, but I think when you get into a game against Mongols, it is going to be definitely very aim-based. You kinder with a massive first map over there. All right, any more twists and turns? Taras was on his own. Woxic did come to support, but mollied ahead.
Yeah, and Wonderful making his way through underpass. Alexi beats out Zantares. Yeah. That one looks a bit silly.
All right, well, there's more where that came from.
Just as Alexi starts to back away, look away, Jota catches the timing to claw back a 4-on-4.
And you can see no immediate reactions being taken. The same thing happened in the first half, right? These kills would come in to be quite pitter-patter, and there wasn't just like an immediate explosion, or when there was, it was when Aurora tried to go on extremities and they just got pipped by Wonderful's AWP. So Na'Vi not going to make the same mistake. Stay grouped up, use this 4v4. It's still a pretty good chance to take this one. One in through the underpass, two out top mid, and the extremity of Makazi over towards B. Now going to waltz up Cat. There's two players over towards the B site right now. On smoke lands, but eyes really on Madja and Wakadia.
Yeah, they're going to have an awful lot to deal with. Wow.
Does that change plans? They push through this to A now.
That's a possibility. There is a player on Cat, on towards Con.
Slip through jungle.
But they're simultaneously working B.
20 seconds.
Oh, wow, Wonderful. How does he keep finding these ways in? Incredible work from Wonderful. Just when Na'Vi Zorba thought he'd done enough, he'll just continue to hand out headshots. 21 and 6.
Yeah, this is absolutely another flatlining right now. Wox going to 1v4. Absolutely no way to get back into this one. It's spotted now, and Bit will put the cherry on top. Another map, another blowout in this series of Na'Vi versus Aurora. Dust 2, the third and decider coming up next, and it's hard to explain. I did say both pistols losing all the clutches and 80% of the opening kills shouldn't, couldn't, or wouldn't happen again. Yeah. And it didn't. Kind of just feels like it went the other way, but Aurora still had some clutches, right? They had two clutches throughout that game. Wakadia and I believe it was Jota in the 1v1 over right. Alexi, as well as a pissed around and then a throwaway, oh, we've lost, let's just run up mid. That's kind of the highlights for Aurora, but for Na'Vi, again, I'm really quite happy to see them piece themselves back together mentally. Yes. After being blown out on your map choice, come in, you start slow, you lose the pistol, you bounce back, and you have a really dominant performance. So great stuff to Na'Vi.
Yeah, no, I mean, if anything, I'm very curious if we do get the, we stomp clash?
Hopefully, right? Just for the excitement factor, because this feels like they're putting these in right now. Sam, what do you guys think?
I think that's the best idea. Stomp, stomp, clash. That's what we want. That's what we're probably going to get. So that's pretty exciting. Let's find out though, boys. I mean, what did you think about what you just saw in Mirage?
Total role reversal, I guess, from map 1. That was a much more commanding performance from Na'Vi. They look poised, they look aggressive, they look proactive. When many teams have come off that first map and fall into playing very passive Counter-Strike, they absolutely did not. That was everything we wanted Na'Vi to be, everything we expect this team to be at times. And it doesn't get much better than that if you're a Na'Vi fan.
Yeah, it was polar opposites, right? Like, it was Na'Vi getting the opening kills. It was them pushing the issue. It was Aurora looking like they were going back into their shell, weirdly, in certain scenarios. I think, in general, a lot of the early T rounds from Aurora, they're just a bit too hesitant, when I think their style almost usually lends itself to being a bit more aggressive, a bit more I guess in general, just less patient. And there was one round that was a very good example of that, where Major had a trigger discipline opportunity in the apartments. He got that one kill. He called his boys over, but they just were a little bit too slow in just getting out of the apartments in general. And Makaze, I think that was one round where Blade had been very happy with him. Played a really, really good position from short, waited for his teammates' rotations, didn't overpeak, didn't overswing, and in general, Makaze had a great map.
You do have to give them credit. I mean, Sponge and Machine mentioned it there as well. The mental fortitude to lose on your map pick the way you did,
yes,
and to just be able to come back here and get the job done. Like, credit to Na'Vi. We spoke about them looking dejected. I had concerns, and they weren't warranted.
I mean, particularly, of course, for younger players. I mean, someone like Makaze hasn't played in this position that many times in the grand scale. He plays incredibly important positions on every map. This map is B short, he's rotating. Does he fight for mid? Does he play with his teammate on B? Is he there for the execute? So this time, every single occasion, he was in the right place at the right time. This is one of the best maps I've seen Makaze play on this team. It was absolutely fabulous, and this is exactly what they want out of him and Ema. They were brilliant.
Yeah, I think as well, wasn't actually just him in the map. Wonderful was incredible. I think he deserves a shout out. We've been talking about him a lot on the desk, and
he is wonderful.
He is wonderful, and I do think in this particular game we may be highlighting the riflers. I think deservedly so. But Wonderful was the man who in the end topped the sheets, and I think had multiple rounds. Especially, we all know how good he can be on a rifle as well as on the AWP. I think he's always been a brilliant rifler, Wonderful, and when you have all three of those players stepping up, we wanted to see a Na'Vi player really step up and take the mantle, be the superstar. Well, I think we had maybe 2 or 3 of them in this map.
What did you think of those 2 gents on your screen, though, Trav?
I think they were wonderful, and that's
they're not. I just want to point out they're not wonderful. The one is Makaze, and the other one is. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I have eyes. It's okay. But yeah, I think in general, I think I agree with Alan. This map from Makaze was brilliant. I think it's shown why they went for him, because I think it kind of categorizes how he played in Na'Vi Junior as well. He was a very a team-based star on Na'Vi Junior. Right, a good comparison would be maybe Kiyosuke on Spirit Academy. Kiyosuke was set up to really be almost like a one-man show occasionally on Spirit Academy. They were the main rivals of Na'Vi Junior at the time, whereas on Na'Vi Junior, he was very much a team star. It could occasionally be him, it could occasionally be Krubeni, it could occasionally be Jugas. So, I think that is why Makaze got the call-up. That is why that he would fit into a team that was already sort of a style that was collective stars across the board. And I think if you can fit in more like that, more consistently, it can only be good for Na'Vi.
Well, that's the thing. If you take a look at what we just saw in Mirage, I get quite excited now about the addition and what he was capable of doing. If we could see more of that, things start looking up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's also, as we had with the head-to-head, it's quite important to consider him and Ema as a package. I mean, on most maps, they're going to be the rotators. They will be on the third, on Dust 2, and they command the ability to make decisions for the team. They're the ones that choose which site is stacked. You know, where are we leading into as a team? And especially for them, because Alexi's always on the extremities, he can't make those calls for them. It's on those players to read the game and actually make the adjustments. So particularly for this map 3, we need them in fine form again if they want to take this series.
Yeah, I think Ima's not just the vibes guy either. Remember historically, people was like, oh, listen to the team comms. He's the guy that keeps the mood up. He's not just that. I think he's an incredibly important part of the team. Lots of the community have wanted him, thinking that maybe he deserves to be the player to be next to be moved on from Na'Vi. I don't think so. I think he's an incredibly important part of the team. He can be that consistent force. He's amazing on these low force buy rounds as well that can occasionally change the tune of a game. And I think, he goes quite often as an unsung hero of the team, more often than not.
Of course, there is going to be some question marks over Aurora. I'd be curious as to the conversation that's happening right now outside.
I think it's reasonably similar to what happened to Na'Vi on map 1, where they just couldn't run a lot of the rounds they wanted. They started off the half. It's kind of more of the sort of CS I'm attuned to watching from Aurora on the T side. It's set plays, it's set moves, it's 4-1s, it's trying to risk yourself into areas and you know, make good reads and you know, open up bomb sites versus a more default style. And Makazi was doing a number on them on B. That didn't work. Ema in towards mid was fabulous at disrupting their plays or defaults. And certainly by the end of the half, they had to just slow it down completely. They had to play slow defaults just to avoid getting picked early. So I don't think Aurora got to play the style of Mirage they wanted to in this game. And certainly by the time we hit the second half, they just didn't have enough rounds to play with. It was pretty much over.
Stomp, stomp, clash. That is how Sponge and Machine have defined this series. And it is a series now because we are going to that decider map. But first, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. The action continues right after this. You're watching the Thunderpick World Championship. Our Group B winners match is currently underway. Aurora up against Navı, and Dust 2 will decide which of those teams is going to make it through to the playoffs. I'm curious as to how you think this is going to play out, because the last time these two teams met on Dust 2, Navı took the win. We spoke a little bit about the attitude between these teams, how they would be feeling after their losses on their map picks. I can confirm we got a chance to see Aurora smiling, happy, joking. So they're obviously reset, ready to go. Is it going to be the clash that our casters were talking about?
We certainly hope so. It's been a little bit disappointing that this series hasn't lived up to the billing just yet, but based on the data we do have, the last time they played, extremely close. I know the scoreline was 13-10, but Navı won and converted both pistols. So certainly if you give one of those over to Aurora, there are many a world that this goes overtime, and I guarantee you, when they played that game and they watched it back, they would have thought, we do not have to change much to have won that map and maybe won that series.
Yeah, it seems it's been a bit of a damp squib so far. It's been a bit disappointing because these two teams lend itself to these exciting clutches, and what clutches we did see, the majority were for Aurora in the previous map, which were only constellations in the end. It's the only things that kept them in the game at all. So, yeah, I think they need to sort out their timings, especially on Dust 2. We saw a bit of errors with that on Mirage. Timings on Dust 2 with how when you push out mid, when you push out long, how you can combine that with your B plays and your attacks. I think that is something that the main thing that I saw was off on Mirage, and they need to fix for map 3.
Here we go, boys. What's the win condition for this one? Discuss.
Certainly the last time they played, CT ties were a bit of a shocker for both teams. They just couldn't find a consistent way to play against the Onslaught. So, we spoke about it in other games during this tournament already. CT Dust 2 is infamously difficult to play, certainly if the other team's on a bit of a heater. So taking the right risks, making the right reads, stacking into the right areas where it makes sense, not losing players early, and being willing to gamble, being willing to get aggressive when it makes sense, being willing to give long and play into mid, or play the reverse or whatever, play solo B and lean long early. This is what defines the best teams in the world, is getting those decisions right more often than not. Certainly when they played last time, neither team get a great grip, but if just one of them can get over that hurdle, I think Dust 2 for them looks quite different.
Yeah, I think, Alan, you brought it up the other day, right, about how proactivity on Dust 2 CT side is so important. That's one of the things that made Aurora so good when Anubis was in the pool. And they need to make sure they don't go back into their shell like we saw in Mirage, play on the front foot, which we know they're good at, and that could give them a chance to look a little bit better in map 3.
Who are you keeping an eye on during this matchup?
Wonderful.
Alexi.
Oh, well, that was helpful. Great. Let's begin. Why wonderful, Trav?
Because he's had a great series overall so far. I think he's got 1.46 rating, I believe, at the moment. And as we kind of mentioned before, we've been talking about him quite a lot over the course of our desks so far. And I think this is a game that is a good example of him stepping up against what could be considered a rival for the trophy.
I'll explain my Alexi pick for this one. The last time they played, I thought Alexi called a fabulous T-side. I mean, truly brilliant in terms of how he was changing the rounds. He'd run whatever B splits at 1 point in the half and then use those nades to pull their opponents out of position, pull Santaras into CT, and then go up off catwalk when it's lesser defended. If he calls close to that level again, it really will be tricky for Aurora on that CT side. So yeah, my eyes are on Alexi.
Who do you think wins?
I'll take Aurora. I feel like individually they've been excellent during this tournament so far. Dust 2 suits them as a team. I appreciate last time they lost. Last time CT wasn't great, but I just feel like on a map like Dust 2, as long as we're not making horrific reads, Xantares is going to win me a few rounds, and they're going to win this map.
I'm going to go Aurora as well, actually. I'm not even going to do this split thing that some desks tend to do. One guy sides on one team, one guy sides on the other. But I actually think that just purely due to the fact that we have seen them play against Navı on the map before, as I said before, innovating as the winner, I think is still harder than fixing the things that went wrong for you last time as the loser. And that's why I'm going to take Aurora on this one.
I'm going to take Navı because I like being churlish. There you go. We've said what we need to say about Dust 2, and now we'll find out how this plays out in game. Machine Sponge, are you ready to go?
We are very ready to go.
Now you're ready.
Now we're ready. Now.
See, that's my responsibility.
No, well, we have already spoke about it.
It's just unspoken my responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
And I looked at my paper before getting into this.
And you've written down a lot of things.
It says entertain us.
Okay, yeah.
Because the first banger of the day actually did. It was a double OT on the first map, and it was a 13-11 on the second map.
How do you like this for entertainment, Chad?
You better sell me right now.
I'll
turn your mic off again.
This is the first time this year that Na'Vi and Aurora have gone 3 maps.
Okay, all right.
It's the first third map of this rivalry. Na'Vi obviously 2-0 in the most recent affairs. So third map, it's new. It's exciting in that way.
Look, yeah, sure.
New, exciting.
Yeah, and this is the thing. These teams are here to win. They're not here to entertain us, but I would like it for them to do both, right? You can win and try and play some entertaining Counter-Strike. So something on the front foot was something that Trav used as a comment right there. If both teams do that, then we can actually get some explosive CS.
Yeah.
If one comes in, like I was talking about, you know, oh, okay, they're going to dictate the tone and we're going to sit. Just run at each other, guys. Let's go for swing to win at CS2 after all.
And swing they shall. We are going to get an early bit of knifey spoony, my favorite game.
Who's got the spoon?
Well, we're about to find out. We're about to find out who sharpened their blade appropriately for this affair.
This is a classic, all right? So this is Knife Etiquette 101. So there's a few things. If you want to be an absolute horrible human, what you do is you make sure they get stuck in long bedroom. Yeah. But what you should do is let everybody out, even playing field, nice level ground, and now we're on the knife. There's the spoon.
Yeah, it gets spooned.
There's the fork.
Hang on a second. It's a flawless strategy. Well executed by the Turkish roster.
Stab good. Okay, well, we know that Na'Vi need to get their signature huddle in before the game goes live. So knife done. Huddle up next. Now, who's going to lead the huddle? That's the question. Everyone got their positions?
Surely this is where Alexi jumps in.
Sure, I think it's a blade.
Oh, it's a blade.
It feels like a blade jobby.
Yeah.
What do you reckon he's saying? He can hear you right now.
He's probably saying, guys. Yeah, like something that starts with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe it's something along the lines of, Dust 2, remember what I told you? Don't fuck it up, listen to Alexi.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's probably pretty good.
And maybe just kind of bigging up some of the output we saw from Wonderful and Makaze. They looked like they were kind of, you know, shaking off their underperformances map 1.
Yeah, the 3 of them, that mid combo was fantastic, right? So, look, the individuals are online. I think if you reflect across the series, Woxix Orb and Wonderful's Orb have both been hitting. It's just recency bias. People might just go, oh, well, Wonderful was great on Mirage. So let's wait and see, shall we?
Exactly.
This is essentially a best of 1 now. Do you think Blade's doing words that are getting the boys fired up, or do you think he's just doing particulars? Because if you're just doing particulars, do it with the headset on. For those type of huddles for me, that's meant to get the blood flowing, right? You're looking at each other. Boys, we're going into battle together. The Na'Vi Brotherhood.
And a day off if you win.
That's nice.
That is nice.
Maybe the rain will hold off for you tomorrow.
You could explore Malta a little bit.
Or practice more.
Bit of both.
You could do both. Why not?
Stretch your legs.
Go out see the cannons.
We've got some cannons here.
Take a look at, obviously, Valletta, as we all know, the capital.
The 3 cities. Go check
well, we're
them
close
out.
here to Medina. You could go there.
That's pretty.
They got some nice tall walls.
They have got tall walls. Yeah, and horse and carts and stuff like that.
Yeah, you could ride on one of those.
I can see it now. Blade and Alexi.
Maybe they could all go for a bit of a dip together. The sea is still definitely warm enough.
It's sure.
It is.
Yeah, you just have to be a bit more brave than you would be on a summer's day.
Dry off, you'll be all good.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's good for the something, I'm sure.
Yeah. Soul.
Yeah, that would be the main one. Okay, well, right here, right now, everybody just getting locked and loaded, settled in. And we'll get this one underway. It was the knife won by Aurora. They have opted to start on the CT side. Na'Vi will be the ones attacking.
It does look like both teams are going to be readying up, and so we can get into this third map, the first of 2025 between Na'Vi and Aurora.
You like that one? You're proud of that one, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit.
You've got to wonder, though, if you're Aurora, does the fact that the other team's doing so much of this rigmarole with the huddle, and then they're taking the seats, then the inners are in, then they got to... Is it frustrating you a bit? It's like, boys, come on, we're ready to go.
I just want to play. And play they shall. Okay, fist bumps have been exchanged, and we are going to be seeing that pistol plan taking shape. Actually, we've been watching the distribution of the utility. They've been very diligent about making sure everyone has the right nade based on the spawn. You can see the spawns, certainly not of the long variety.
No, not at all, but Wonderful will throw some standard util right now. So he's going to jump spot, just going to check over towards lower, make sure nobody's in. Will he smoke mid doors and molly count? That's what the util set is designed for. Now, has Santara's been spotted? I'm not sure.
I don't think he has, but he's on his little pixel gap, and the smoke will aid his escape unscathed. Woxix will block on the short jump up, but actually Makaze, going to get the first blood. Nice find. A quick opening and a quick response. Wakadia and Jota pushing up. Bell rung. His block is lethal. He's running at Wakadia, needs that one tap and delivers it. Still chaotic towards the long doors. It's Madja under scrutiny. Alexi got all the nades and he's wonderful to get this kill, but he can't stop Madja. 2 clean clicks. And this round disintegrates despite the opening from Makaze.
All right, well, actually, both teams hitting the go button. Happy to take fights on both accounts. Makaze in a 1-on-3. Wakadia low, Madja half HP. Zentares still at 100. All right, nice shooting. 3 for the in-game leader, 1 for Zentares and Wakadia, and some smiles on the faces. They're happy with that one. Add another pistol to the tally. No bomb going down.
Madja's had a couple of moments this year where it's just really looks like a young man's game being played by the previous generation.
I thought you were going to say the round he had against
That's exactly what I'm thinking about, the train double peak.
Oh no, the one where he pushed through the smoke as the time was expired, and then FaZe were all yelling at him.
Absolutely not.
And his teammates all looked at him in complete and utter disbelief that how could you have possibly done that?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that train where they double swung from camera.
That was nice. Yeah, that was very nice.
And then those 2 taps on the USP, you know, he's kind of rolling back the years.
Well, this speaks of your mindset in a positive place right now.
My glass is half full.
Standard start, 2-3 split of the defenses. By the book Counter-Strike, using their weapons at range, not playing up close and personal against the likely eco, but that's given over a lot of space, and now it's about the explosion. Can they hit a shot on the way out?
Not now he's got that info.
Catch that one.
Bonk.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, he is ringing for bit and wonderful. Paying this from by the book, Aurora. And they know the scout's in play.
Yeah, they've only got the flashes and a smoke left to delay with. So Na'Vi just hoping there's an overstep, right? Because at this level, you're able to capitalize on top of that, and then it can quickly cascade out of control. But up they come. Zentares has Woxic. 2 of them, as it'll be a run boost to open up things.
No issue for Woxic. And Zentares, he's been in this position for that exact result, was waiting for that multi, can count on the opening. And with their powers combined, Woxic and Zentares get the full 5.
Yeah, and smiles on the faces for Aurora, so let's see how long that can continue. The buy will now be entering the server for Na'Vi. So AKs are plenty. Wonderful will have to wield the scout again. So both snipers operating on the smaller zoom banger. Shadow with the MP9. Does he want to use that to try and maybe get into lower tunnels and be a bit disruptive, or do they just want to play this one standard with the setup? Nade on the mid doors to facilitate the cross. We can see just how good some of these players are at hitting those tags. Bit held at bay for now. We've seen him go for these long picks through the smoke, find some good timings. But Aurora will be able to garner that long control. Alexi, diligent util, so wanting to make sure that nobody has piped in towards lower. That molly will ensure that. And Zentares able to cheat back over to the other side of the map while the mid-door smoke is still up. So the read at the moment for Aurora is feeling very B-split heavy.
Only reinforced by the sound of a flash towards the doors.
They have just blocked on short though, and Madja starts to cheat in towards CT spawn as well. So they've left A extremely unfortified, and there wasn't really any pressure on short just yet. So the fact that he's already used that smoke doesn't have the ability to block again. Woxic over towards long, gets to stay trained on the doors. Madja will have to use his incendiary to try and buy them a little bit more time, and there it is. That'll be gone by the 40-second mark. So what's Alexi's call? More nades, more flashes, more pressure felt from Na'Vi. Crisscross into the A go.
And it is the weaker of the 2 sides, as you highlighted. So, Sean Makaze very low.
Madja has another nade.
Oh, it could be perfect. They're going to just leaving short. 100 damage inflicted. Woxic scout to get past. Easier said than done. 2 already from the scout.
And 2 walking wounded still.
Yeah, that HE still leaving a lasting impression on 2 of them. Went over extension. They need to fight for some territory. Instead, they swing through. Jota receives them. Nice burst to the face. 2 on 4. Wonderful delivers. First needed. More than that. Zentares at TK. Awkward, wonderful, low HP. Good shot from longside. And a guttural scream erupts from the stage. Aurora down to the wire on the defuse, but very happy to be converting a round like that.
Okay, well, yeah, the nade damage there from Madja was the highlight of the situation, but for me, it's the Woxic kills on the scout. right? Softens them up with the nade, sure, but if Woxy doesn't get those kills, maybe they're considering the save because the nade damage is unconfirmed. The kills are definitely confirmed. Check this out from his perspective. So the first one onto Bit trying to come lay out long doors, then turns around and catches a player scaling. Beautiful shooting from him.
And that's the scream. We found where it came from, the source. Micardia, who was bringing the source over on Mirage, the only one that was really delivering buckets and spades in the frag department.
So another good start from Aurora, right? This happened on Mirage. Obviously, was much more extended on Nuke. They managed a 3-0, and then from there it started to fall apart. Now this one, unless it goes awry against the upgraded pistols, should be looking good for a 4th consecutive. Wonderful saving for a rainy day to bring out the AWP. And they do have enough smokes to go for the crisscross again if they'd like. Could even just take the short control and get down the bridge smokes and try and use that to flash their way into A. But look at the Aurora read again. Right? You can call it a gamble, you can call it a read. Either way, this is the setup that they think is best to deal with what their expectation in Na'Vi is. And this time, it looks to be bang on.
Crisscross Smoke's going to start to progress forward through the mid side. Pressing on the lurk smoke, but Zantara's actually drawn Flood ahead of the play, now able to lend a hand as they try and flood through. Wakadi is there. And the Tech-9s get nothing. Sure, you get out with the bomb, but top mid is held. Bit's trying to pivot through CT. They get the info, but the bomb's now loose. Lovely find, match up, contingency plan. 5 alive for Aurora as well, so not any economical damage dealt, but it will be cash injected into Na'Vi regardless, and we'll see them pull out the guns for round 5.
Yeah, okay. Well, Wonderful Zorp comes into play. Let's see what type of spawn that he's working with.
Furthest towards B. Nothing towards the long side. I mean, it is always a bit of a lottery, isn't it?
Yeah, this is one of the things with Dust too. So he's going to post up, try and grab the player, jumping up the flat, and spots him out. Doesn't hit the shot, and now will be smoked off. So you can see why that spawn is used to find that fight. Moxic, you're going to get up close and personal. What you could do is you could have Magic. Oh!
Holy!
Never mind. I was going to say have Magic jump spot across the doors to bait in a peek, but Woxic just walks into the bullet. Great shot from Bit.
Damn.
That's the AWP. So at this point, I would want to take short control as the in-game leader and execute A, because now as you come out short, you're not worried about the AWP at like calm position to snipe you out. I can see Magic still having it, but he's not going to be as proficient as the Southpaw sniper. So the push-pull continuing right now. Pressure short. It's a very tactical game. They need some space because a mid to B would be extremely detrimental to Aurora. Na'Vi are out.
Guardia goes for a smoke break, a nice
kill.
immediate headshot into Alexi B. However, Makaze is already encroaching. Ime walks through first. Not enough of a distraction. He was hoping Jota would be looking towards the window player. Now Makaze pushing through, but nearly more. Micardia makes it look even more favorable. Now bomb down and a headshot found. Zantares hits the final frag required. He was under so much pressure on B.
Look at the vibes, though. They're immaculate right now for Aurora. One of the things that they've copped a bit of scrutiny for is having a bit of a weak mental. Right? This is why this team, they've been in a goddamn lot of playoffs, but as far as trophy lifts are concerned, nothing on the record.
Yeah,
and that's what we're looking for. Yeah, but we want to see that breakthrough. And the problem for this team is it always feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, especially with the map pool changes. Right? It always feels like, oh, they lost Anubis, they lost Vertigo. Well, right now you have to deal with the map pool you have, and you come into this, and maybe you want to pick Overpass. Well, Na'Vi banned that. So you find yourself in a tough position, but this confidence, this attitude, the demeanor that we're seeing out of them right now for this 5-0 start, this is perfect. This is the recipe the Turks have been looking for. And around where they were in 4v5 for the majority of it, they gamble stacked the wrong side, and they're still able to pull it off. It's just going to be a couple of upgrades with this AK in the hands of Makazi. Can they crack in? It's a bit more direct.
Yeah, he's quick on this. Incendiary might start to go pushing, and Woxy can't believe his luck. Makaze, do you dare? This shot, but not from Zantares. There's the AWP gone. Needed support. Zantares just having a field day farming away on the sidearms. It's just that rifle from Makaze that gives them something to hold on to. Nate, perfect. The team play there. Zantares licking his lips. Thank you very much.
All right, well, they get the AWP back. They throw that over to Woxic. Both snipers, again, will be equipped. Tactical timeout called, and it feels about time, doesn't it? So Blade an opportunity to get on the mic. Well, we look at the spawns, maybe we can see what's going to be justified as the call. Wonderful, again, has the worst spawn. So even if they wanted to boost him to try and harass on the cross or go for a long pick, not possible. We'll have to head over towards B again if he wants to find some early action. Smiles continue on one side, 6-0 now. Okay, well, direct orders there to Makazi. He will be the player going in through the lower tunnels. Emma is on the B extremity. Alexi going to come through top mid. Fit to be the long lurk. And then Wonderful here, there, and everywhere with the AWP. But as far as the default's concerned, if they want to go into a standard map control round and then look for a finisher, you'll see him likely start suicide. And late on the boost, right? So he knows he's not going to be able to find a pick unless they're facing up mid. And right now, from Aurora, this is by the book CT setups. They're not even going for short boosts, right? They're not running into lower tunnels and using the changes to the map to their advantage to slow down the Na'Vi default. It's 3 long, 2 B. They've gone for mid-round gambles on either site, depending on the circumstances presented. Just grabbing that basic map control early, and then from there, feeling confident in their setups, their individuals. It's always weird when you go for setups like this because it means that you're confident in either layering your Yuta to hold them at bay, or if they come out, you're prepared for the type of execute.
Yeah, you must have a plan.
And again, they've gone for this stack, right? So they're feeling like, okay. And remember, Nuke, they had very, very good reads. They felt exactly like they knew what Na'Vi were going to be up to in 4v4s or situations where they get a player down secret. So it's like, all right, well, let's give Na'Vi basic map control as long as we get ours, and we have a good read, or at least we feel we do, of what's coming their way.
And again, a third starting B. That is the right decision. They can't believe that Xantares is again tucked. This time against the guns, this time brought down by the sniper. That's Bit to close it down. Nice attempt from Wicardia. Sure, Woxer gets one through the smoke, but it looks like Na'Vi have broken through.
Okay, so from the mind games, you lost out there, you went into the stack, but you've won the brawn side of things here. So the fight's coming your way. Madja around the world. There is time for this. So if someone oversteps, Madja, I'm not sure he's going to clear this one. Should have a dead to rights, and does. That'll be round. There's 15k on Xantares, 11 on Wicardia. So the buys won't be a problem. Madja will need to get a drop, but if the rounds continue to cascade against them, they're going to have to make sure that they protect their finances.
I mean, those are the worst ones to lose, just because you were in the right place, you positioned for like this eventuality, and still it doesn't go your way. But I don't know if that's going to be something you can just shrug off. I presume so when you're 6 already on the CT side.
As long as you win the next one.
Sure.
Right. So let's see if they're able to pull that off.
Na'Vi getting started.
And then if there's any change to what I was just discussing, or are they still just going to go, all right, let's just play for long, get long control, rotate Xantares back, burrow and anchor in, have the AWP play over towards mid-long, right? The very standard stuff. Faber obviously wanting to call some level of adjustment or give his team an opportunity to have that conversation. Again, Wonderful does not have a good spawn to pick mid or long. Really just getting the rough draw of this. And I draw attention to it more on this map than any other just because of the ramifications it can have on the playbook.
Right.
We'll get to see once we swap halves how many spawns Woxic gets that are different, right? It's never going to be equal.
Round 8 it is then. Big boost directed, and Wonderful takes a lick. In fact,
they both did.
Yeah, an equivalent exchange, or not quite. More damage inflicted from the Woxic side of things.
Both with quick adjustments into that, though, so head-to-head established early. You can see Bit there. Like, this is such a tough spot because you want it to be a spot where you're able to poke and prod and be harassing, and maybe they'll give it a go. The flash has to be perfect. Madja might even be in front of it right now. They hit him, he knows. Okay, they got to back off.
Elects not to throw the incendiary.
I think if you know players were in long doors, maybe feeling there can't be too much of a follow-through cat, and every few seconds you can burn on a piece of utility to stall out and execute will be huge. Now, this is actually a setup where Jota's kind of been not sold down the river, but has a lot of responsibilities on his own just to deal with B. If he goes down, the site's lost.
Oh, that was the perfect flash, but Ricardia didn't start to spam, didn't panic. Centaurus is tucked on blue. It will be a test of their pathing, yeah.
35 seconds now.
Oh, it just feels like it's set for the multi-kill, isn't it? Eyes drawn, Centaurus is overlooked. He gets the double headshot and a jumping third. Wonderful. Has a trick shot handed his way. Centaurus 13-1.
That's cheeky, isn't it? Thing of beauty to witness there as well.
I mean,
you love it when a setup works perfectly, right? You got the player baiting, they overlook it, he gets the double kill, and then the jump shot is just...
the icing on the cake. I mean, that is fantastic.
Yeah, and then the smiles on their face, they continue. So there it is, right? You lose one round, but you respond back immediately, and you've got them right in your pocket right now. Aurora are loving life. Navı unable to really make too much of a dent, and they will call another tactical timeout.
Bye.
Yeah, that's making good on what Woxic started. That exchange in middle with the AWPs. Now, timeout has been called. Blade still wanting to try and get his team back into the game. It's enough money for buys on 3 out of the 5. Wonderful. And Makazi would have to offer him with something a little bit lighter. So Emma could go hero AK. Alexi could likely do the same. Or do they shove all in? It does look like that seems to be the decision at hand right now. So guns are being juggled, util there. Do you want to go for a long play and try and pop out, use Makazi's spawn? Set him up with the corner smoke, couple of good flashes. And if you do that, then you're going to have to win the duels, because if the space... No, not gone for it at all. Okay. Just, I don't know how you're going to punch through.
It's quite on long. Bit quick to lower.
Yeah,
Cardio relays.
Heard that.
Yeah.
Try and play ahead of this smoke. They are. They're going to walk through. See ya.
Oh, it's just perfect. Ricardia positionally to perfection.
It feels like there's so many steps ahead. And then look at this. Magic just turning the screws right now. It's like, okay, well, we've seen what trying to... Like, Bit is the long player. He's dead already. Okay, I'll take the liberties. I'll take the space.
And I will take a shot in the back of Alexi B's face. Oh, gets caught on the turnaround.
Yeah, we did see that one. It was the right move.
Right move, wrong result.
I'm going to put it on the execution. Okay, well, it's given something for Navı back into the round. It was a 3v5, goes 3v4, and the defense is now split. So they hit a shot on the way into this site, and the round is back on, Alex.
Oh, yeah, this is where Madra is just going to be watching through his fingers.
Yeah, and they are evacuating. Ricardia is investigating middle. Jota on his lonesome.
Got no util on Jota, just has to hit the headshot.
Oh, no.
Alexi gets the entry. Burns to a cinder, still gets his.
2v2.
Oh, brother. Hot shot, you got a Heishi on Centaurus.
Would love Woxic on a rifle, wouldn't you, for the retake?
Yeah, he's got flashes. He's going to maybe be trying to send Centaurus up. Finds a rifle. Wonderful, pressing his ear to that window, not going to give the sound cue away. How do you play this? A boost seems out a bit ridiculous. Not going to get the answers you were hoping for. Wonderful, surely going to take them down. Oh, no, Centaurus
They got kits, they got kits.
Up to clutch. Swallows the nade. Too many bodies. Delaying the clock, but it's not enough. And Aurora will overcome Major. A massive sigh of relief from him.
Yeah, both teams had moments where they were meant to be winning that round.
Shouldn't have got that close.
Not at all. Not with the way it started, not with the Ricardia double kill. Perfectly placed. To subvert the expectation, push into their own mid-smoke, straight into this, and they just line up. I can't believe that either. Wonderful, kind of with a panic spray, and then it's Woxic's turn with a jumping kill.
I can't believe they go for the boost, especially with window player. You think that's going to be curtains, but Centaurus hits a crazy one.
All right, long pop.
All right, Makaze is supposed to be that brute force, and in combination with him, they get something. Madra goes down, long player gone. In the open, sitting ducks for Makaze.
All right, they weren't expecting that acceleration, were they? Well, there is going to be the upper tunnels push for info. Ricardia lid through doors. 2 players are low, so it depends on how, if they overplay their hand, Navı. As long as Woxic doesn't go down, they can't just overrun the site. Cross smoke does land, and they are backing off. At least they were. You can see what's going to happen right here, can't you?
I can. I'm just a bit scared to say it.
Oh, me too.
It's quiet, you know? It's quite a quiet place we're in, and we're on speakers.
And he's playing by the rule book. He's played to contain.
Yeah.
It is the correct...
He's done the right thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Not quite.
Second time's the charm. Okay.
But the bomb carrier is going to have to leave eventually. Does Jota get caught off? Sees the shadow. Ooh, both take damage. He's going to have to push on the molly. In the meantime, Ricardius just starts to spam the smokes. Yeah, actually gets caught by Bit. Nice little activation from them. Jota still has output though. Taps on Bit.
What can Woxic do?
I don't think much. With 20 seconds left, he has to hit this first shot. The jump up doesn't nail it. And it's all fallen into place for Na'Vi, second on this T side.
Okay, well, felt like there was a moment where that might have spiraled, right? It felt like they were getting a little bit tricky with it, but they just gave themselves a contingency plan, worst case scenario. Jota could have found a perfect timing if he had gone on the first timing, but actually played it right, and it came back to cost him. So, okay, you've given over 2 rounds, but how much more damage is there?
Well, I mean, I wonder if Magic's going to concede another opening, given Ime's very premium. Actually, it's not the best. It's not the best long spawn.
I think they still give it a go, right? Look for that opening again, because it is just such a default opening that we're seeing right now. Long door smoke, there'll be nades, that's it, they can get out.
Yeah, Woxic was there to lend a hand. Peeks around the smoke, one burrows deep, close blue. Ooh, they hear it multiple bodies.
In the pit, should be ready for this, especially with McCarthy scaling in the previous. So, I want to see if he can poke something through head-to-head. Wonderful over Woxic.
Yeah, big one from Wonderful.
Oh, they got quick acceleration.
They're going to attempt it. 3 CTs here, scrambling.
Flash.
The swing, anti-flash from Makaze, covered nicely. Na'Vi hitting their stride at the tail end of this attack.
Might just be the save, boys.
Line up. Yeah, they have to get away. 50 bucks in the back pocket of Madja.
Yeah, I don't think you got the finance for this. So there you go. Those long spawns come in and they take advantage of them and make the most of them. So 2 consecutive rounds. Na'Vi will get up to 3. Still doesn't feel great, but it is more than workable now, especially if they grab that pistol round once we swap sides. So these 2 are going to be saving guns. Loss bonus into the next should be at that 1900 mark for the CTs. So it'll be just enough.
Maybe they'll be able to grab that AWP.
Still hasn't really delivered in the clash, the back and forth, the clutch nature. Just there's been some good reads, some good stacks, some nice multi-kill moments, but it's just not this back and forth affair with the economical tug of war. Also the pace of it as well, tempered. Relatively standard in terms of the playbook being shown.
Well, I think that's the contrast between these 2 sides of the bracket, right? You know, you saw Mongols Furia, and then you look at the Na'Vi Aurora. It's, you know, it's 2 teams, or rather, yeah, a pair of teams with very contrasting approaches.
One's got punch, one's got poise.
Yeah, all very nice. Absolutely. But those are the division of our favorites. Wonderful taking this B side of the map, trying to catch a Jota jump peek. Has he learned his lesson?
They should be on high alert because the long util came.
Oh! Hima hits it though.
Damn.
Doesn't matter. He's going to accelerate. Ricardius on high alert, and they are coming. Tucks on that corner. Here's Makaze going wide. Does he want to bring the fight? Gives him a stab. Brings the fight indeed. Whoa. Nearly 3. Lovely attempt.
Starts a push.
Yeah, he's through the window. Makaze, however, profits off the flash set up by Alexi B. Team play on display from Na'Vi. This has got some punch to it, Chad. They heard ya. Looks like a Madja. Man disadvantage and no rush.
Bomb could get caught in middle here. Oh, doesn't matter anymore. Woxic noted, shot in the side of the head, and there you have it. 8-4 on the half. So a little bit of something for Na'Vi. This one's not over just yet, but I think that's all you need, right? That's restored hope, restored a little bit of faith in this. The fact that they've lost to this, right? The clear of the smoke comes in. It's not the AWP that hits the shot, it's Ima. This was great from Ricardius. Knows that if he just stuck over towards Car, would become a sitting duck, right? They could do the scaling over the tall box as well as starting to clear, and he had to take the fight to them. If he gets the triple, that's probably round Zentares, I think, got lost in the source of the cusp of the smoke, trying to come through window, then flashed off the line, couldn't back through, goes down. That's the one that really sealed the deal and changed the dialogue. We will get the change of halves in, and we'll make sure that we keep our eyes on those spawns, right? We're pointing out that Wonderful, very unfortunate with his, had a lot of B spawns, couldn't go for like long peaks with the AWP, was late to mid peaks with the AWP, so you wasn't seeing him tagging players when they were crossing the doors like we saw from Try yesterday on Imperial. We have swapped sides now. It's about seeing the buys come in. Double digits for 3 players in the server, all on the Aurora side. 14 for Zentares, 11 for Wakadia, and 10 for Woxic. Makes sense when the scoreline is 8-4.
Yeah, pistol will go a long way for Navı. Hasn't been the best track record as far as this series is concerned. But when you're 8-4 in the hole, third map in the upper bracket, you want to stay here.
So eyes on Zentares for me on the T side of this. He has been equipped with a P250.
That makes a lot of sense. You know how precise the man can be.
There's a second one available as well. So they've brought out 2 P250s to take some of these duels against the USPs. It's a decent amount of utility invested upon by the defender as well. A couple of smokes. Surely one of those will be used to block B. There's dual Berettas for bit as well. Flash and a HE for good measure. No defuse kit though, so keep that in mind if we find ourselves in a post plan.
Oh, I like this. This is a pistol out right out of my playbook here. Show face long, don't die, and take the bomb quietly, Tons. Look at the reaction. That's what they were hoping for.
Okay, so they're going to leave the util. As long as you can get the P250 in pit, then you're able to make this. Oh no, okay, just jump spot on the corner, see if anybody has info. In fact, Makazi's hanging around here for the block.
I think Navı are going to be buying
Wonderful can block this as well. He's thrown it a very basic way, right? You can do the middle click one, which will land and can't be obstructed like that. So that smoke's not going to do the job.
Throwing another on the fly, though. That's pulled Makaze away. Oh, now he's a bit
janky.
Jota gets it. Awkward now, bit not in the sight, and now just has to stand and bang. Woxic delivers. Manipulative. Lovely calling from Major.
You wonder what was the call that made Makazi move, or was it
The
just him
second
thinking
smoke,
nothing's on the way?
Just see him Major again. Another smoke being thrown. It kind of affirmed that there were more bodies. Nice bit of deception. Nice click back from Alexi. Woxic returns the favor. It's Jota with 2. Just pushing on out, bringing the fight to them. 3 in total from Jota. Solid pistol output. Going to put Aurora in a very comfortable cushion.
It's 5 out of 6 pistols, I think.
5 out of 6,
yeah.
I think Navı just got 1.
They split him on Mirage, so yeah, 5 out of 6 pistols. Keeping our eyes on those particulars. It's more team-based stat lines, you know, the opening kills, the pistol rounds, and the clutch conversions, as opposed to, you know, who's got the most frags. So we'll be the force for Navı. We need this one to get the back and forth started. Late, long pop. They'll be going through this. Here they come.
Layered flashes between Major and Woxic. How good are they? Not good enough. Alexi handles it with vision. Ima, gets the response. Not quite. Didn't finish off his meal. And they're just going to spray at the smokes.
Have to really credit Woxic there. The fact that he's the 3rd guy out of the smokes and he has the scout in hand, right? In that situation is we either help our teammates out here or we're going to give them 2 rifles and likely be in a discrepancy with the man advantage. So the fact that he just pipes through, hits a necessary shot, gives himself an upgrade for his troubles. So there was a chance there for Navı to try and steal that one back, and still is. 2 players very low. Jota and Woxic as part of this. Wonderful and Bit. Now, they have divided and hoping to conquer. Bit doesn't have to be headshots if the low HP leads first. Body shot into a headshot, that could be enough to do it. Just for Wonderful, though, to retake with a scout ain't happening.
How is he gonna get this one? No, the collateral! What? Buy one, get one free from the Deeg and Bit. Wonderful still handed something he could work with now. With Jota low, a body shot would do it. Around the corner, hits the quick scope, but it's Jota to deny. It could have been real frag movie magic there. Valid attempt.
Jeez.
How often do you see collateral deagle headshots?
Right? I'm talking about.
Unique.
I'm thinking about body shots. He said, "No, screw that. I'll just take 2 for 1."
Oh, it wasn't far off for more as well.
Jeez. And then Wonderful also with a banger there on the scowl. That is some specky shooting for sure. And Jota just has to surge forward on the bolt. So damn close.
Oh, wow.
The start and the end were close for Na'Vi, really. Like, they could have won more fights towards long, and at the end there, that was almost something to be marveled at. So much financial damage being done, but you can't justify buying in at this point of the game, Na'Vi. So just a smattering of pistol upgrades, hoping to extract a bit more value. Players are in the right place. Good push highlighted by Bit, so he's in the back lines. He sealed the door. There is Madja playing for information, so he is going to call B clear. If they do evacuate...
Looks like they're about to.
Yeah, so Bit will get the info. It's about how many kills can he get.
Oh, here's the... Now they confirm it. Jota just going to run and gun. Nothing from the Deeg this time.
But Madja has the rotation. As long as he gets one, then he can use his util. There's the one. There's the util.
Falling into place. A couple of ways in which they could have tripped over their laces, but well handled. Aurora making a very strong case to keep themselves afloat here in the upper bracket and to send Na'Vi down to the lowers.
Well, this will put them in the playoffs, right? So this one right now to join Furia. They're all going to be on the other side of the bracket. So that's nice, right? If there's a team that you want to avoid, maybe it's Furia. Maybe it's the Mongols, right? I think for Aurora, right, they've matched up against the Mongols a couple of times. So they're quite familiar with that head-to-head. But just 2 more rounds required, and they have a massive buffer to do so. But the guns do come in for Na'Vi now. Wonderful Zorb, the rifles for the rest, and an aggressive stance. Didn't see anything like this from the CT side of Aurora.
Right, that's the contrast already on
They just played default.
Well, I don't know, Zantara is just going to head shooting. Solid work with Cardia and Jota. Everyone wins their duel.
Feels like round and game right there.
Yeah, so maybe that's why you didn't see much of that from Aurora, is it can blow up in your face. Alexi and Bit find themselves completely smoked out.
They didn't get anything. Didn't have short control, didn't have long control, and lost absolutely all of it.
Oh, not happening. Makaze, good find on the way back in. Suddenly a 2-on-2 emerges as the dust settles. Bit and Makaze trying to stake their claim, extend play. Moxic and Matt are in a position to, actually feeling a lot of pressure now. Closing in, just like that. Bit and Makaze resuscitate hope for Na'Vi. How does that go wrong?
Okay, nice. Glance down at my stats. Just wanted to look at how it's been going for Aurora, right? Going into EPL, the Noda had 13 events attended this season, 11 playoffs, 2 finals, still in pursuit of that first trophy.
Right.
So if we make this the 15th event, 11 playoffs, because they didn't make the playoffs over there at EPL, they're looking for their 12th playoffs. And again, still in pursuit of that trophy, right? That's the key to unlocking what I think everybody hopes Aurora can become. Because at the moment, they're painted with this brush. They get to the stage and they're chokers, right? They don't have the mental.
Do you know, I think it would probably be like the equivalent of when Mongols won that Sky Sports event. I think it was Sky Sports.
In the middle of last year, but then the Mongols won Thunderpick in Berlin.
That's right.
And that one.
Even better. But I think after that, go on to start lifting trophies themselves. I think for Aurora, it could unlock something similar within them. Makaze's going aggressive up middle. Held by the orb, so we'll have to think twice about towing the line further. Bomb departing long doors now. Doesn't sound like a whole army around that corner to Imed. Likely going to be set up to go looking. Actually looks like the kills coming their way. Wonderful punish Madja. No one home. High alert. Bit about to be tested. Zentaris is coming running at him. How many does he get? Falls back off. Okay! Beautiful from Bit. The multi-kill massacre in the tunnels. One man on site, and that's all you need.
Okay, well, this game has just been split wide open.
Yeah.
Right? I thought that at 12 was a certainty, right? The fact that they were able to swarm long and short in that previous round, now their money's in question. And now the comeback can be on. And now what we were talking about, being brushed to one side, the fragility of the mental, maybe not anymore.
You're going to be feeling a bit hard done by there if missing those 2 up-close and personal orb shots. Shouldn't be your responsibility, but Bit made a light work of your teammates.
Well, you're back in it now, right? Because at this point, 7... force them into a point of eco. Their buy into the next is not going to be the best buy, right? Unless they get the plant, I don't think you can see an orb coming through. So you can start to build a bit of confidence. So then let's say you play that next rifle round, there's no AWP, right? They're going to have to hope for something a little bit more poppy. If they can't stick the landing there, you're close to tying things back up. We wanted the punch, it's just a bit of a rope-a-dope from Na'Vi, potentially on map number 3.
They happy to oblige, will activate with the short help. Imeh restrained, doesn't want to give anything away. Keeping them busy with that USP as Imeh sweeps the rest. There shouldn't be anything from that Glock from Wakadia, so we can move into the next round of play. We'll just press the button. There we go.
Okay.
Accelerates the script.
Yeah, so Woxic only has 4.3, and I think this is a very good time for Faber to call a tactical timeout, so that's exactly what has come through. You're going to talk about this rifle round right now. Then you lose this. You're obviously not planning to lose this, but let's say you lose this, you take a partial, then you can go for the full buy and hopefully bring out to the AWP in that future. Now, I think it's a good time to do this because before those doubts of, oh, we're choking again, start to creep in, which will happen in about 2 to 3 rounds time. All right, get rid of it right now. So at the moment, they don't have any great long spawns. Wakadia and Magi are currently closest. Then it goes Xantares and Woxic and Joda with a B spawn. So this puts you in a position where you're likely just going to see a default. The other options are let's go over to tunnels and set up a B execute with those really good flashes you go see through under the skylights, or a long pop. Right, those are your two kind of second timing options early, or you just go through the motions of the default round. Get through lower, push back short control, and then play the push-pull of the mid to B and short utility. The split on the radar spells the default, so likely to see 2 in through lower. Actually, Wakadia was heading to B, and now he's just heading all the way back, so was he leaving some util? I'm not quite sure. So not being harassed, no lower push, no short presence. This is just a standard hold, so yeah, some util. Looks like it was left as...
Just Woxic doesn't look particularly confident.
He's thinking about this one. So they're going to feign it to make it look like potentially crisscross smokes, which should draw the A rotating rifler, who is already drawn, to be fair, and then give you a 1v1.
In defense of Woxic, he nailed it. Wonderful, though. He's in prime position to catch him. And just like that, wonderful. Combines with Alexi. You know where Madja is. It would be done if Xantares died, and that could be any moment now. Missed shot from the AWP. Awkward. Oh. It's good from Imeh.
Almost adjusted.
Yeah, could have gone way worse.
40 seconds, 2v5, goes 2v4.
Is there anything more?
You can isolate this fight. He's on his own. He's been kind of sold down the river here. Madja hoping to catch rotations. He just loses the bomb.
Ooh, ugly one as well from Woxic. Na'Vi back in business.
At least they had an idea, right? So a gimmick coming into play will throw some util to make it look like something else and then see if we can isolate a duel in a 1v1. It wasn't the case. Wonderful was there. They just sold short. The flash too deep. He is able to get that opening shot, and then the long plate falls apart. So here's going to be the partial now. So the closest of the 3 maps we've had in this series, but now the conversation is starting to heat up. Everyone with a smoke. Joda's going to line up the hinge mid doors. Short aggression from Imeh. 3 flashes, 4 smokes remain after that one's been launched. Lands perfectly. Through lower tunnels, just making sure there's no quick response time. So this time they could go for the crisscross and have the follow through, but what are the 2 extra smokes for? I feel like you'd want to take some short control, push them back so you can actually manipulate the rotations as you'd hope.
Yeah, I think that looks like the game plan.
Okay, this is what they're going to do. Short control, bridge smokes, drop CT with 1, pincer the CT player, B split. It's not a money back guarantee, but...
Yeah, well, we are going to be seeing those nades lined up.
Oh, no one's going to drop through. They're just all going through the doors. Here they come. Have to play.
Too many bodies on that B ramp. It should be a farm fest.
Great response, though, isn't it?
Everyone's here. Everyone's ready. Nice shot from Wakadia.
Oh,
my
Great
God.
Flash.
What a shot. What a flash. What a play. Outstanding. How do they turn it on its head? I mean, how does Wakadia hit that headshot? A catastrophe for Na'Vi, Alexi B, and Wonderful going to try and turn it back around.
They're kits. They have an incendiary. Where do they want to use that? Backside, back plat, car's an option. So as the AWP for the retake, HG double flash, and the nade through the window doesn't soften anybody up whatsoever. Wonderful might lead Alexi to trade. Here they come.
Flash catches the rifle. Bacardi at forward position. Mac 10 bait. Trying to draw attention, but they will clear him. Messi! Oh, no! Oh, and that's going to tilt him. Such an incredible sequence out of Wicardia, but wonderful Alexi. Forge a path back into B. Na'Vi not done.
Okay, Wakari, I thought he had done more than enough there. That sequence in middle was a thing of beauty, one to be admired. That flash that came through, you see two players, B Hill completely blind, questioning their life choices. Here it is again. Out of the pocket, the one on Emma while moving, then bang. And then he's tucking in, just praying, just hoping. And it's post plan on B. There, the swing from Zentaros goes wide with the Mac 10. And they let out the Raw. No timeout taken for this one. Aurora saving one. Boxic at least has his AWP. Can it be a dialogue shifter?
Usually is.
Set me up, he says. So Emma made in the pocket. Decent damage. Molly exchange. Thinks better at playing ahead. Wonderful there is the safety net. Can just hold the line. Flashed off, but backs himself. Now he swoops in.
Oh, the timing is unbelievable. He goes looking for Zentares. Spots his head and nails the shot. Damn, free haircut for Zentares. Madrid's not going to be ready for this, but now he is. Emma squanders his opportunity.
You know the AWP's here. Got to be careful with this, boys.
That's awkward. Good flash work, but they need more where that came from. Wonderful turns it. Still a gap. Still punishing. Wonderful again with impact. Double kill. Up on towards the site. They've
Window
still
flash.
got the ramp player as well. Yeah, flash comes in. No one's looking in the right direction. It's too easy for him. Just picking him up. One at a time, dropping like flies, and it's just a one-round game.
You can see the comms are still flowing there for Na'Vi, right? Everything's considered. It's a team game, bang on, right? 14 top end, 11 at low end in terms of frag distribution, but I'm just loving the details, right? No one's just swinging ahead of you till their teammates are coming. I've got the flashes. Alexi's going off with those window flashes coming in. Really good understanding of the situation. There's multiple setups and layerings to the defense that are going on. Wonderful getting caught off guard there with that little slip off the box, still able to hit a banger over shot. Emma goes down, but it's not going to stall them. Has to be a partial buy right now, and that's going to be the last tactical timeout burnt from Faber, so no more opportunities for him to get involved. And you just have to return to that round where they split A, they get the kills out long, they take down the short player, and they end up losing it. Now we're sitting there scoring 11-10, with Na'Vi financially in the driver's seat and about to tie things up, legs 11.
Man, yeah, this one might be haunting Aurora. Replaying the rounds, you were so damn close. Even that 2v2.
At least in a round like this, it'll be a little bit more off the cuff. You'll see players go for a few more plays. Less static, less default. So a big ball maneuver right now could be the one that they're looking for.
Yeah, and well, someone that's not shy to make a play is Wicardia. He is the best equipped. Support for the mid-hold as Imet cheats over. Short, the least occupied, and they're doing it quietly.
Yeah, all five, and they have enough to get them space. It's about what happens if they get the staging area, because Na'Vi in this situation can play retake, and then they have the util for exactly that. So the question is not if Aurora get the site, it's what happens once they have it.
Okay, they might likely go now with the smoke up and
yeah,
the
they're playing
landing.
retake.
Vanguard smoke. How will you play this?
So this is the tough part. They likely get the short plant in, right? But you can't just stay marooned on the site. You can't just stay Gandalf and around site box. You'll be whittled away by utility. So you need something. So Madja has short control. There might have to be a pivot point where you drop in and fight CT for something, or you swing and fight long, and they're not equipped to fight long. So you need to be able to pounce down together right now.
How do you play this? They're closing in.
One Madja flash.
Alexi beats alongside. Heavy occupation of short. Nice output from Zentares, making that Mac 10 work, but Makaze's there. Here's Jota. Needs a shot. Can't track the heads. They're wiggling and they're jiggling. It's a 1v2. How's he hit
Short
that?
plant.
crazy. Absolutely crazy. He's going to call the bluff. 5 seconds. 4. Oh, I think he gets
on it.
I think he gets it just in time. Wow, wonderful. Indeed, 11 each.
Damn, and they had an idea. They were like, okay, as soon as they start scaling up CT, we're all going to clamp on this. Right, considering they had a lot less in terms of the util and weaponry department, they got a lot out of that round, but it doesn't matter. The scoreline is tied up 11-11.
Great shot from Woxic, and I think he probably thought that there was enough time. Like he'd wasted enough time, but had he just played it a little step deeper. Okay, action on Alexi.
Oh, no.
What's going on there? That nearly went horribly
Coming
wrong.
through.
Zataras has gone through, trying to fight around the edge of the smoke, but Wonderful happy to just pick it up. And this is a collapse from Aurora, a calamity. Been stuck on that 11 as Na'Vi have clawed their way back into this game. 7 on the trot. Looking for that 8th. And it is just 2 kills away. Wakadia and Woxic find themselves trying to make something happen. Na'Vi playing for the info. You can see him just going to be spotting out for the mid-cross. The smoke will confirm their suspicions.
I can see over the top of that one, it forces pathing to window, and there's even a HE to break. Oh, you've seen him.
Yeah, he's going to come from Woxic's back turn. He draws attention, and Makazi sweeps it up.
Oh, it was 11-4.
It was 11-4.
This is wild. Like, this type of comeback right now. You know, the first half, it didn't feel like those last few rounds against Constellations before we made it into the halftime break was going to be enough, but clearly it is. And I just have to return to that 11-4 round. It was a 2v4 situation. An A-split from Aurora. They come steaming out long, they get the short control, and then they end up flubbing around. That has come back to cost them dearly. The best that they can hope for right here, right now, is overtime, or Na'Vi will take this and they'll make it to the playoffs.
Oh, this one would feel incredible for Na'Vi, overcoming adversity as a unit. Quite the opposite for Aurora. Imet feeling himself. He's going to be in a position to lock the doors on this all in. Wonderful Zorp is going to be there to receive. It's just a scout on the other side of things. As he elevates up, he's a sitting duck, but a missed shot whistles away, just past the hip of Woxic. Fully committed to this. Aurora live and die by this play in round 24. The whole team going across. Wakadia the first man across. Awkward, very awkward, low HP, ears ringing. Zataras given the low HP, gets the scout, but this could all line up for Na'Vi. Inver's got the back turned, spray and pray, it's still gonna be theirs. How did Na'Vi pull that off?
11-4 down to 13-11. Thank Makazi and Bit for pulling it off a 2v4 to keep you in it. And you take the series, you take down Aurora, 3rd consecutive series where Na'Vi have come out on top and they booked themselves a spot in the playoffs. They'll be on the opposite side of the brackets of Furia. Aurora will have to play again tomorrow, but they were right there. They were dominating Na'Vi.
So many rounds replaying. I think every individual will probably be replaying the moment they could have done something different.
Oh.
That long play you keep returning to, obviously, but there were so many other options. Woxic, another 0.5 of a second, and Wonderful doesn't get the defuse.
Gets them up to 12 at least.
So
Wakadia
intense.
coming out mid with the Tech 9, the triple kill, the 2v2 in the post plant. They lose that one to an AWP and Alexi on the retake of the site right there. So for Aurora,